the fertile land that nurtures agriculture. But Nigeria's greatest asset is its people, innovative, resilient, and ever hopeful. We are a nation shaped by diverse tribes, religions, and histories, united in building a shared future. Though rich in resources and spirit, we still face challenges that hold us back. Yet, we continue to journey toward unity, equity, and progress.
We are seeing citizens, especially young people, stepping up, showing more interest in elections, contributing to nation building, solving social problems, holding leaders accountable, and advocating for justice, ensuring that governance serves everyone and not just a few.
But achieving the Nigeria we vision requires daily effort from each of us. This is what democracy is about, where every citizen is actively participating. We're standing for justice and demanding transparency.
We believe it's possible to have
a Nigeria where leadership serves the greater good and upholds democratic values.
A Nigeria where diversity strengthens us and unity drives progress.
A Nigeria where social justice and equality are realities for all.
A Nigeria where innovation thrives and opportunities are open to everyone.
A Nigeria where progress is shared and no one is left behind.
At Leap Africa, we know that investing in young people is the key to unlocking Nigeria's potential. But it requires all of us, citizens, leaders, and institutions, to play a part in building a better future. Because the Nigeria of our dreams is possible.
Nigeria, a land of boundless potential, a vibrant mix of cultures, languages, and traditions. Home to over 200 million people, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene landscapes of Obudu. Our soil is rich with resources, from the crude oil that fuels economies to the fertile land that nurtures agriculture. But Nigeria's greatest asset is its people, innovative, resilient, and ever hopeful. We are a nation shaped by diverse tribes, religions, and histories, united in building a shared future. Though rich in resources and spirit, we still face challenges that hold us back. Yet, we continue to journey toward unity, equity, and progress.
We are seeing citizens, especially young people, stepping up, showing more interest in elections, contributing to nation building, solving social problems, holding leaders accountable, and advocating for justice, ensuring that governance serves everyone and not just a few.
But achieving the Nigeria we vision requires daily effort from each of us. This is what democracy is about, where every citizen is actively participating. We're standing for justice and demanding transparency.
We believe it's possible to have
A Nigeria where leadership serves the greater good and upholds democratic values.
A Nigeria where diversity strengthens us and unity drives progress.
A Nigeria where social justice and equality are realities for all.
A Nigeria where innovation thrives and opportunities are open to everyone.
A Nigeria where progress is shared and no one is left behind.
At Leap Africa, we know that investing in young people is the key to unlocking Nigeria's potential. But it requires all of us, citizens, leaders, and institutions, to play a part in building a better future. Because the Nigeria of our dreams is possible.
Nigeria, a land of boundless potential.
service is youthful and useful.
And the Youth Day of Service is leadership in action. We're all about inspiring, equipping, and empowering a new cadre of African leaders that will transform themselves personally, the community, and the entire Africa.
This is important because we're trying to also just promote and encourage volunteering. Everyone has come out today. Some of our partners have come out today to volunteer and support.
Through Phonic Farm, and it's a new way of leveraging technology into farming, making farming so modern.
This system is linked to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. Our advocate is to educate youth about this type of farming system, which creates access to green, decent jobs and better life. This will sustain our economy, our people and our planet. So we advise you to please plant what you eat and eat what you plant.
And it just really ties into our work at Leap for Africa. We're changing the narrative. We're really changing the narrative across Africa this year that young people, any age, I mean, I'm sure the youngest person here was about 15 or 14. I mean, no matter how young you are, you can really be a big part of change.
My name is Cynthia Adeke, and I'm one of the participants to the program. I really learned a lot today because I learned how to use fabric to fight against violence. Thank you.
Thinking, how do I deal with it? What can you do to build traction? What can you do to start solving this problem that will be on the next stage?
How useful we are. Like today, we come out today and we clean the street. I will try to prove that yes, we are youth in the community and it's good for we to keep our environment clean.
Thank you, Leap Africa!
I'm useful.
youthful, and useful.
And the Youth Day of Service is leadership in action. We're all about inspiring, equipping, and empowering a new cadre of African leaders that will transform themselves personally, the community, and the entire Africa.
This is important because we're trying to also just promote and encourage volunteering. Everyone has come out today. Some of our partners have come out today to volunteer and support.
Through Phonic Farm, and it's a new way of leveraging technology into farming, making farming so modern.
This system is linked to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. Our advocate is to educate youth about this type of farming system, which creates access to green, decent job, and better life. This will sustain our economy, our people, and our planet. So we advise you to please plant what you eat and eat what you plant.
And it just really ties into our work at Leap Africa. We're changing the narrative. We're really changing the narrative across Africa this year that young people, any age, I mean, I'm sure the youngest person here was about 15 or 14. I mean, no matter how young you are, you can really be a big part of change.
My name is Cynthia Adeke, and I'm one of the participants to the program. I really learned a lot today because I learned how to use fabric to fight against violence. Thank you.
Thinking, how do I deal with it? What can you do to build pressure? What can you do to start solving this problem that will be on the next speech?
How useful we are. Like today, we come out today and we clean the street. I will try to prove that yes, we are youth in the community, and it's good for we to keep our environment clean.
Thank you, Leap Africa.
I'm useful.
And useful.
service is youthful and useful.
And the Youth Day of Service is leadership in action. We're all about inspiring, equipping, and empowering a new cadre of African leaders that will transform themselves personally, the community, and the entire Africa.
This is important because we're trying to also just promote and encourage volunteering. Everyone has come out today, some of our partners have come out today to volunteer and support.
Phonic Farm, and it's a new way of leveraging technology into farming, making farming so modern.
This system is linked to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. Our advocate is to educate youth about this type of farming system, which creates access to green, decent jobs and better life. This will sustain our economy, our people, and our planet. So we advise you to please plant what you eat and eat what you plant.
And it just really ties into our work at Leap Africa. We're changing the narrative. We're really changing the narrative across Africa this year that young people, any age, I mean, I'm sure the youngest person here was about 15 or 14. I mean, no matter how young you are, you can really be a big part of change.
My name is Cynthia Adeke, and I'm one of the participants to the program. I really learned a lot today because I learned how to use fabric to fight against violence. Thank you.
Thinking, how do I build it? What can you do to gain traction? What can you do to start solving this problem? That will be on the next speech.
How useful we are. Like today we come out today and we clean the street. I will try to prove that yes, we are youth in the community and it's good for we to keep our environment clean.
Thank you, Leap Africa!
I'm youthful.
Useful.
service is youthful and useful.
And the Youth Day of Service is leadership in action. We're all about inspiring, equipping, and empowering a new cadre of African leaders that will transform themselves personally, the community, and the entire Africa.
This is important because we're trying to also just promote and encourage volunteering. Everyone has come out today. Some of our partners have come out today to volunteer and support.
Through Phonic Farm, and it's a new way of leveraging technology into farming, making farming so modern.
This system is linked to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. Our advocate is to educate youth about this type of farming system, which creates access to green, decent job and better life. This will sustain our economy, our people, and our planet. So we advise you to please plant what you eat and eat what you plant.
And it just really ties into our work at Leap Africa. We're changing the narrative. We're really changing the narrative across Africa this year that young people, any age, I mean, I'm sure the youngest person here was about 15 or 14. I mean, no matter how young you are, you can really be a big part of change.
My name is Cynthia and I'm one of the participants to the program. I really learned a lot today because I learned how to use fabric to fight against violence. Thank you.
How do I deal with it? What can you do to build trust? What can you do to start solving this problem? That will be on the next speech.
How useful we are. Like today, we come out today and we clean the street. I will try to prove that yes, we are youth in the community and it's good for we to keep our environment clean.
Thank you, Leap Africa!
I am youthful and useful.
service is youthful and useful.
And the Youth Day of Service is leadership in action. We're all about inspiring, equipping, and empowering a new cadre of African leaders that will transform themselves personally, the community, and the entire Africa.
This is important because we're trying to also just promote and encourage volunteering. Everyone has come out today. Some of our partners have come out today to volunteer and support.
Funny Farm, and it's a new way of leveraging technology into farming, making farming so modern.
This system is linked to SDG 12, responsible production and consumption. Our advocate is to educate youth about this type of farming system, which creates access to green, decent jobs and better life. This will sustain our economy, our people and our planet. So we advise you to please plant what you eat and eat what you plant.
And it just really ties into our work at Leap Africa. We're changing the narrative. We're really changing the narrative across Africa this year that young people, any age, I mean, I'm sure the youngest person here was about 15 or 14. I mean, no matter how young you are, you can really be a big part of change.
Okay, so once again, I want to welcome every one of us to this program today. So please let's celebrate ourselves. If you're happy to be here, please celebrate yourself. Like clap for yourself. Exactly. I love that. Okay, so my name is Esther Elufioye. I'm introducing myself. Oh, my uncle there. I'm introducing myself. So please listen to me. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Esther Elufioye, and I'm a professional compere, and I will be your moderator for today. So please celebrate me. Okay. I like the way they celebrated me here, but you, these debaters, what is it? Celebrate me now. Do you think it's easy to be standing in front of you guys right now? Now we are talking. Love it. Okay, so I want to officially welcome us to the Youth Leadership Debate Competition. Please, let's celebrate ourselves once again. Okay, so welcome, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, and our fellow invited guests today. I want to welcome you. Our secondary school students, so please let's celebrate ourselves. I also want to welcome you. And our brilliant debaters, please let's celebrate ourselves. I want to welcome you too to this. Okay, so today's Youth Leadership Debates Competition is an initiative of the Nigerians Youth Future Fund under Leap Africa, and is proudly supported by MacArthur Foundation and Ford Foundation. Please let's celebrate these foundations. Okay, so before I proceed, I would love to recognize the universities that actually made it to the quarterfinals before we came for this competition today. So let me quickly mention them. So please, when you hear these universities, please celebrate them. Even if it's not your university, just clap for them, yeah? Did we hear me? Exactly. So even if it's not university, please just clap for them. So from the north, I'll be calling on Ahmadu Bello University. Okay, thank you. So we also have University of Ilorin. Okay, so we also have Tafawa Balewa University. Okay, so we also have Bayes University. From the south, okay, we have Benue University too. Now from the south, we have University of Ibadan. We have University of Benin. We have Ladoke University, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. We have Lagos State University. And lastly, we have Federal University of Technology, Akure. Thank you for that celebration. Okay, so now the semi-finalists. Please, a drum roll, a little drum roll, just a little drum rolls. We can hit our book now, hit it, love it. So the semi-finalists, universities that made it to become the semi-finalists, we have Ahmadu Bello University once again. Are you people not the ones debating? You people should be standing up to clap for your university. Ahmadu Bello University. We are their representatives here. Celebrate your university. We have University of Benin. Love it. We have Bayes University. Woo! Okay, we have Benue State University. We are their representatives. They're outside. Okay. So we have Lagos State University. Woo! Okay. And we have Federal University of Technology, Akure. Please, let's celebrate them once again. Okay, so over the next couple of hours, we'll challenge assumptions, confront realities, and explore innovative solutions that have the potential to transform our nation. So without further ado, please join me as I welcome the programs coordinator of LEAP Africa in person of the delectable, inspiring, and gorgeous Ijoma Kalu. Is she present here? Okay. Please keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my debaters. Good morning, Lautech. And good morning, Womosho. Thank you all for coming out to be with us this morning. My name is Ijoma Kalu, and I'm standing here representing the executive team from LEAP Africa and the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Just to speak a bit about what LEAP Africa is all about and what the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund is all about, so that you know why you're here and why you've been invited to be part of the Youth Leadership Debates competition this morning. Please permit me to catch my breath, I'm so excited. All right, so LEAP Africa is a youth leadership development and training organization. Through a variety of programs, we want to raise the next generation of dynamic leaders for Africa. And we're doing that through different means. LEAP Africa, first of all, stands for leadership, effectiveness, accountability, and professionalism. And we think that this collection of properties will make up the next generation of dynamic leaders for Africa. Leadership, effectiveness, accountability, and professionalism. We believe that Africa's biggest problem currently is the problem of leadership. We are all very somehow in this country and in this continent called Africa. We like to play at the fringes of the rules if we're given the chance. But if we do have leaders that have decided their part in making a change for the communities that they represent, maybe they will help us and guide us to a better place as people of Nigeria and people of Africa. So we are trying to instill these properties to young people. That's what LEAP Africa stands for. I'm going to speak now to the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. This is an expression of the work that we do at LEAP Africa that is sponsored by MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, Luminate, and we also have some of our technical partners as Future Work Africa and Budget. All of these people have said to us, look, one of the problems that we've seen, especially after the NSAS protest, was the fact that young people know what they do not want, but don't exactly know what they want or how to go about achieving what they want. So the mandate of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund is to provide the resources, financial and otherwise, to young people to act on the things or on the ways that they can change their communities brick by brick. So we extend sub-grants, we extend technical mentorship, and so on and so forth to young people, even at the grassroots levels. Have you identified a problem in your community? How do you intend to solve it? Who are your stakeholders? And so on, right? And we support that process till the very end. Now, the Youth Leadership Development Program is an extension of the NYFF, the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. And here we are targeted at young people in tertiary institutions. So universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, colleges of health, monotechnics. We want to catch young people young. We want to catch them where it matters. We've seen recently that the spirit of activism it seems like it's dying in the country today. Young people are not talking as they used to. They're not questioning situations or preferring solutions to situations. So we are trying our very best through the Youth Leadership Development Program to change that narrative. Now, we're not raising rebels. We're not asking or raising people who are going to break the VC's cars and break the VC's office just to make a point or set places ablaze. No, we don't want to set properties that cost money ablaze. We want to set boardrooms ablaze. Where the meetings are held, where the decisions are made, we want to be there. We want to be identified as the people who have something to give, have thoughts to give onto how policies are made. And that is why on the Youth Leadership Development Program, we have 2 tracks. So when students are brought into the program, so this year, for instance, we presented our call for applications and we had over 5,000 people sign up to be part of the program. And in the first round, what we are doing is just to teach. We're teaching online the basics of leadership, the skills that you need to be an effective leader, communication skills, stakeholder engagement, and so on and so forth, policy influencing, and how to decide on what policies are good and bad and how you can make a change to those policies. These are some of the things that are taught in practice, or rather in theory. And after the theory is taught for a 1-month period, we now go into the real work. So we have 2 tracks, the sustainability track and the advocacy track. On the sustainability track, we are saying, fine, you've learned how to identify yourself as a leader. You've learned how to identify the problems that your community has. Now, let's get into the field. What are the problems of your community? How do they align with the Sustainable Development Goals? The students from Anglican Grammar School, do you know the Sustainable Development Goals? Do you know the SDGs? Do you know the SDGs? How many SDGs are there? Anybody in the room knows how many SDGs there are? 17. Thank you very much. There are 17 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and most of the problems that we find in our communities today have a way of relating with the Sustainable Development Goals, either zero hunger or quality education. So we are giving participants on the program the opportunity to go into their community and solve a problem. So they might see, oh, students in my locality are unable to get to school because of transport issues, or because when they get to school, they don't have where to sit, and things like that. They will write us a proposal, identify stakeholders that they can work with to solve that problem. If it's a problem of transportation, how can we create a sustainable means of creating transportation for secondary school students or for students to go to school? Now they are contributing to solving the Sustainable Development Goal on quality education. You are giving students access to quality education. So that's how this program runs. Leap Africa, through the NYFF, supports young people with the funds, the resource. Sometimes we pair them up with people who are change makers or influential people in the communities that they represent to support them to do these projects. And then on the second track, we have the advocacy track. Here is the advocacy track that births the Youth Leadership Debates competition, because here we are using our voices, right? We are teasing out key policy issues. I'm going to also try to reduce my grammar so that everyone is understanding. When we say policy issues, what do we mean? The laws of the country, the decisions of the country, decisions like whether we need to increase minimum wage or not, decisions like whether subsidy should be removed or not, decisions about how the government is running on a day-to-day basis, just key decisions and how they affect the citizens. That's what, when we're talking about policies, that is it. Sometimes it's not the laws of the constitution. Sometimes they are just decisions that are made per time. Now we're looking at these decisions. How do they affect young people? How do they affect the citizenship of the country? And speaking to whether or not those policies should stand. So all the topics that you're going to hear debated today are currently trending conversations in the country. Over time, we have discussed whether or not the fuel subsidy should be removed. We've discussed whether or not nurses and health practitioners should be stopped from leaving the country because of brain drain, or whether they should be allowed to go, whether the people in Nigerians in diaspora should vote in elections or not. These are trending conversations that I had every day. Also, recently we debated whether there's a current plan for a 30-day youth conference, right, with the presidency, where young people from different walks of life come and talk about issues concerning young people. And we're debating whether that is what we really need, or should the government already knows, we've spoken a lot, or should we just go and sleep and wait for them to do their thing? So those are some conversations that our debaters here have brought onto the fore, and we've invited you to hear it, to understand it, and to make your own decisions, so that when you go out of this place today, you're speaking from an informed place, because you've heard people intelligently discuss these matters, and you also are going to be intelligently discussing it outside of this place. We want to create a situation for young people where we're not just shouting at each other rapidly on X, on Twitter, on Instagram, but we are talking, or we are debating with young people or our fellow young people from a place of knowledge, having done the research. The debaters here have been given the burden of duty to show you that when you do your research and present your facts right, you can convince people, right? So you are here to be witness to that, and you're here to also be empowered to go outside and do the same. We want young people to have one. In fact, we don't always have to have one voice, but even when we disagree, we must disagree respectably, and always, always, always say, what are the recommendations? Where do we go from here? The debaters here today will also do the same thing. They will debate, oh, my opponent said this and that, but one thing is clear. They will always give recommendations to policymakers. Okay, we agree, we disagree. However, this is what we think policymakers should do starting from today. All of these debates, all of these topics that we are having is till we come to a point where we have a compendium of recommendations from these rounds and the rounds prior that we can present to policymakers for onward decision making. So please enjoy your time here today, and just know that you are here for an experience of a lifetime. I also want to use this opportunity to ask you to follow Leap Africa and Nigeria Youth Futures Fund on our websites and on the social media platforms, so you learn about more work that we do and you continue to get inspired. I promise you, you will enjoy the rounds today. I promise you that. We have some fiery debaters in the room. Also for the students from the secondary school, thank you so much for coming. I know it's going to be worth your time. For the teams from Lautech, representing Lautech, I know you're also going to have a great time. So please, enjoy yourself. I also want to say thank you to the judges who have given their time to be here. Please also enjoy yourselves while you're doing the work. We assure you that the judges are impartial, and they'll be doing everything to get us our winners for today. Also to say that this is the semi-final round of the Youth Leadership Debate competition. So we're going to have 3 teams come out of this round, and 2 of those teams will be representing their universities at the finals. So the top scoring teams from today will be representing their universities, their institutions at the finals that will be holding in Abuja by November. So that is it from me. Thank you so much. The next voice you will hear is from the MC. Thank you.
Please let's celebrate her once again. Okay, so once again, I want to welcome you to the Youth Leadership Debates Competition, an initiative of the Nigerian Youth Future Fund, and it's proudly sponsored by MacArthur Foundation and Ford Foundation. So before I proceed, I want to recognize the presence of two of our invited guests. So please let's celebrate the president of the Melsa Lautech in person of Akinyemi Oladapo. Please let's celebrate him. Also, I want us to celebrate Daniel Adekunle. Please let's celebrate him. Thank you. Okay, so before we also proceed, we want to invite some of our participants from Lautech. So I will be calling on Mr. Ayomide Basit for his testimonial. Please, can he come forward? Please, let's celebrate him. Okay, since he's not present, please, can we have Mr. Olasukomi Oyewusi? Okay, thank you. Please, let's celebrate him. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning. My name is Olasukomi Ewusi, and I'm from Lautech, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, and I participated in this year's Youth Leadership Debate Development Program. That's the YLDP 2024. So before I proceed, I would just like to say this, that there's an adage that goes on that those who go far in life are those who stand on the shoulders of giants. And I must really appreciate Leap Africa for this initiative. They start by calling up applications for the Youth Leadership Development Program, bringing seasoned teachers, seasoned leaders from all over, not just Nigeria, even all over the globe. They bring people who impact us, they teach us things about leadership and even speaking and how we can relate with problems, identify problems in our environment. I really must appreciate them. And like Ms. Ijeoma said, there is an advocacy program and a sustainable program. I participated in the advocacy pathway, and I, with my partner, Ayomide Adekunle, participated and represented Lautech throughout like this program. So I really appreciate this initiative because, like she said, the topics that are being debated are trending issues and issues that pertain to the Nigeria that we want, the current situations of Nigeria. For example, in the quarterfinals, the Lautech team were debating on the decentralization of Nigeria's security forces so that the state government will have greater control over local law enforcement. Just saying that the state government, just like it is practiced in the United States, the state government has its own security forces to combat situations in their environment, as opposed to having just in Nigerian, just the federal police office, police organization. So I would really say that this leadership debate program is a program that we should get involved in, because we are speaking about the Nigeria we want. And there is one striking thing that I usually hear in Leap Africa, and is very, very important, is that I can be the change I want, that be the change you want. The change that we all clamor for begins with us. I know it is a common saying, but it is something that we can achieve, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one. You cannot just achieve something all of a sudden, but you can begin something by doing something in your own environment. And this is what is sponsored by Leap Africa, the NYFF, and I must really appreciate this. And I would just say this, that thank you, Leap Africa, thank you, the YLDP program. I really appreciate it, and I'm encouraging every other person, because there will also be an application next year as well. I'm encouraging everybody, everybody, we are all youths, and even if we are not youths, we can actually still apply for the next Youth Leadership Development Program and the cohorts. Thank you very much.
Please, let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him. Okay, please, do we have Mr. Ayomide Basit? Okay. So just to add to what he said that you can join the cohort. So please kindly check the website. A new cohort will be starting around February or March of next year. Please, I want every single one of us here to be a participant of the Youth Leadership Development Program. So please, let's celebrate ourselves once again. Okay, so quickly, we're doing a quick exercise. So whenever I say Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, we say the Nigeria we want. So did we get that? Or should I come again? Let me come again. When I say the Nigerian Youth Future Fund, we say the Nigeria we want. So are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, so Nigerian Youth Future Fund. Let's say it again with more, gish gish. Nigerian Youth Future Fund. Please let's celebrate ourselves. Okay, so let's go into the deal for today. So I'll be introducing our judges. So please, when I call their names, they will just stand up while I read their profile, and then we'll celebrate them. So the first person I'll be calling is the person of Dr. Jesu Juwon Olawiye. He's a medical doctor. Please, sir, please let's celebrate him as he stands up. Okay, so Dr. Jesu Juwon Olawiye is a medical doctor who doubles as a writer amongst many other things. He pursued and excelled in several interests ranging from public speaking to journalism, writing, research, and volunteering during his time in medical school. Dr. Olawiye held diverse roles as a student, such as being editor-in-chief of the Alexandra Brown Hall Press, the president of the Alexandra Hall Literary and Debate Society, supreme leader of the Alexandra Brown Hall Book Club, scribe of the Noble House of Quills, business manager of the Dokita Editorial Board, the official journal of the University of Ibadan Medical Student Association, and many more. Please let's celebrate him once again. In his many roles, he personified diligence and dedication, which led to his achievement of great feats as a leader in the organization where he belonged. In 2020, he won Holt Prize, UI with Team Eco Park. He also placed second with Alexandra Brown Hall and University of Ibadan Medical Students Association at Jowo, the largest public speaking event in sub-Saharan Africa in 2002. Please let's celebrate him once again. So when Dr. Olawiye is not practicing medicine or allied interests, he enjoys reading novels, judging debates, and occasionally writing poetry. He also loves to watch football and is a dedicated Manchester United fan. So please let's celebrate him once again. Thank you so much, sir, for having us here. So the next person I'll be calling is Oreoluwa Odutoye. Please let's celebrate him as he stands up. Oreoluwa Odutoye is a Nigerian poet and a medical student. His work has been published as part of the world record longest anthology to Sender Publications, Musins, Mundane and Mortal, and elsewhere. He was also a top 10 speaker at the 2022 All Nigerian University Debates and Public Speaking Competition. Please let's celebrate him. And now he is a current champion of the Royal Rhetorics Public Speaking Competition. Please let's celebrate him once again. He's a strong believer in creative thought and continuous learning, and he hopes to operate at the intersection of literature and medicine. He is currently the Vice President External of the Nigerian Medical Students Association. Please let's celebrate Oreoluwa Odutoye. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. So the next person I'll be calling is Peter Abegunde. Please let's celebrate him. Peter Abegunde is a passionate advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 3, which focuses on good health and well-being. He's the founder and director of the World Changers Institute, an organization committed to nurturing the next generation of African leaders and change makers. Please let's celebrate him. Peter also serves as the coordinator of the Lautech SDG Students Hub and leads the Literary and Debating Society of the Ladoke Akintola University Medical Students Association. In addition, Peter founded the Soft Skills Clinic, where he empowers undergraduates and young professionals with essential soft skills to thrive in today's competitive world. Beyond these roles, Peter works as a professional MC, infusing events with energy and creativity. Please let's celebrate Peter. He's also an avid writer, sharing insights on leadership, development, and society through his blog, Cephas Insights. Please let's check him on cephasinsight.com.ng, which has garnered readership across Africa and Europe. Please let's celebrate him once again. As an alumnus of the Millennium Campus Network and the Youth Leadership Program by Leap Africa, Peter is also a current student of the Bridge program, Nigeria's premier leadership fellowship for undergraduates. Please let's celebrate him. So Peter remains committed to building healthy, prosperous, and sustainable communities across Africa. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here, Peter. Please let's celebrate our judges once again. We can see that their profile really speaks a lot about them. Please let's celebrate them. Thank you so much, our judges. We can't wait to hear from you. Okay, so to the business of today, I'll be reading our rules for our debaters. So are we ready? Should I go on? I want to hear from you guys. Should I go on? Okay, thank you. Okay, so to the rules of engagement. Each of your teams have been randomly paired to contend against each other. So each team has also randomly been assigned a debate topic and side. I'm sure we know our debate topics, right? Okay. So the first speaker, which is for the proposition, has 5 minutes. The first speaker for the opposition has also 5 minutes. The second speaker for the proposition has 3 minutes, and the second opposition also has 3 minutes. The closing statement for the proposition is 1 minute, and the closing statement for the opposition is also 1 minute. Do we get that? Okay. So upon receiving a signal when your time elapses, you're only given 5 to 10 seconds to end the sentence, as any other points outside of this time would not be counted in your team's favor and might also attract a deduction in your scores. Now, the penalties. The teams will be penalized for failing to adhere to the ground rules of engagement during the competition, and each offense below will attract a penalty of 1 point. So please kindly listen to the penalties. Inappropriate conduct, objectionable language, severe personal attack on any other debater, falsified evidence, irrelevancy, unfair tactics, and unfamiliar with the rules. Do we get that? Okay. So what will you be judged on? The first thing you'll be judged on will be on organization and clarity. So this will cover the main arguments and responses as outlined in a clear and orderly way. The second thing you'll be judged on is the use of arguments, which will be the reasons given as to support the resolution. You'll also be judged on the use of rebuttals, that is the identification of weakness in the opposite team, and you'll also be judged on your language, and the last will be your overall presentation style, which is your tone, eye contact, clarity of expression, pace and precision. Hope we got that. Do we get that? Okay. So for round 1, the university that will be going would be Bayes University. And the first speaker I'll be calling would be Obiamalu Vanessa. Please let's celebrate her. Oh, who is the first speaker? Oh, you're the first speaker. Okay. Okay, the proposition first. Okay, that's true. Okay, so Bayes University will be going against Federal University of Technology, Akure. And the topic is the Nigerian National Assembly should be converted into a part-time legislature to reduce costs and improve efficiency. So the first speaker I'll be calling would be from Federal University of Technology, Akure, and he has 5 minutes to explain his points, and that will be Daniel Akinyiwola. Okay, Daniel, please let's celebrate him.
In the heart of a bustling city stands a grand palace known as the National Assembly. It is a place of power where the leaders enjoy every luxury imaginable. Aside their basic salaries, they get housing, furniture, vehicle, seating, wardrobe, and newspaper allowances. And when their time in the palace comes to an end, they leave with a patent sum of about 8 million naira, while the struggling citizens outside the gate stand by with empty pockets, watching and waiting for change. Standing on the existing protocol is Daniel Arkinwola, a student of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and I will be supporting the motion which states the Nigerian National Assembly should be converted into a part-time legislature to reduce costs and improve efficiency. What is our policy? It is a constitutional amendment to convert the Nigerian National Assembly from full-time to part-time. What does it look like? Firstly, the legislature will meet for 4 main sessions annually, with each session lasting for about 30 to 60 days. Secondly, provision will be made for special sessions in cases of national emergencies. Thirdly, a legislative committee will be set up to conduct oversight, that is, check and monitor the executives all year round, but with strategies that would ensure it remains part-time, which is basic schedules. Fourthly, which is quite important, is that a performance-based model that compensates lawmakers based on performance will be set up. This policy is a success in Germany, Texas, and some parts of Canada, as a report by Premium Times confirms that these countries enjoy a significant reduction in legislative spending and achieve efficiency. Let us start from a base question. Why would the part-time legislature reduce costs? Firstly, it reduces working hours, thereby decreasing expenses. According to a report by Budget, the Nigerian National Assembly's budget for 2024 is approximately 344 billion naira. What is the significance of this? Number one, it confirms that Nigeria can no longer sustain this budget. Secondly, there is an urgent need to reduce legislative spending. How then does part-time legislature addresses this? Firstly, it justifies a significant decrease in salary and allowances. Opposition might come to tell you that we can still reduce this even when it is full-time. First response is that a lot of money is needed to run a full-time legislature. Reducing funding while it is still full-time will lead to lack of funds, which will drive inefficiency. Secondly, is that it reduces operational and administrative costs. According to a comparative study conducted by the National Conference of State Legislators, it confirms that part-time legislators will save 40% of operational costs. In the Nigerian context, that is about tens to hundreds of billions of naira, which will contribute to other sectors. Finally, how then will the part-time legislature increase efficiency? Number one, it will make the National Assembly become unattractive. According to a research by International Policy Brief, many full-time Nigerian politicians prioritize financial gains over enacting policies. How does our policy addresses that? It is because it reduces the robust infrastructural incentive that exists. Therefore, it disincentivizes the corrupt politicians and organically attracts those who passionately care about lawmaking and the citizens. Secondly, it will improve the implementation of more practicable policies. How do we achieve this? Firstly, by giving room for experts in other fields to join politics, right? Because they have knowledge in health, they have knowledge in other sectors, and will contribute their knowledge in lawmaking. Secondly, is that it then allows legislators to spend more time with their constituencies. Part-time, they have a lot of time to spend with the people they represent. They better understand them. They know exactly what they want, which drives efficiency. Because our side truly reduces cost and maximally increases efficiency, we stand firm on proposition. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. Okay, so to all the participants, the time will be turned so that you can view it when your time is up, you also know. Okay, so now I'll be calling on the first speaker opposition from Beige University. Please let's clap for her. She makes her way up the stage.
ask you a question. If you were about to board a plane and the captain says through the radio, "Hello everyone, today I want to say that I will be flying this plane part-time, to save costs and all," what will you do? Would you buckle your seatbelt and say your prayers, or would you bolt to the emergency exit for safety? Now we are here with bright minds, suggesting that we take Nigeria's National Assembly, the cockpit of our democracy, and turn it into a part-time gig. Like governance is some side hustle you can juggle between meetings, coffee breaks, and maybe a quick nap. Because apparently, adjudicating over 200 million people can be referred to as a side hustle. According to Professor Eddie Eragbe, a professor of international history and diplomacy of the University of Benin, he said that to propose a law is a challenging job. You even need to read through a legislation proposed by a colleague to make an informed contribution. So legislative work is too demanding to be a part-time job. So with this, I say good day, judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, and the esteemed audience. My name is Onemena Odebala, representing Bayes University in the YLDP semi-finals today. And I stand here to oppose the motion that states that the Nigerian National Assembly should be converted to a part-time legislature in order to reduce costs and increase efficiency. A part-time legislature may cost the state less money. It might mean more time spent at home with the constituents, and may even mean fewer session days, but that doesn't mean that it is a good idea. The issue isn't how much lawmakers spend, but if the system is structured for efficiency. And today I hope to explain with 3, maybe 4 points, how the Nigerian legislature should not be converted into a part-time legislation. First, the core issue is accountability and not the time spent. If the legislature today agrees to go on a hunger strike for 2 years, when the efficiency is not put in place, things will not be done in Nigerian legislature. Let's look at how the proponent of this motion says that converting to a part-time would improve efficiency, as they will have time to sit and discuss matters more easily. But no, this introduces more excuses for our leaders. Instead of holding them accountable, rather, we give them less responsibility and baby them into having less time. Also, Nigeria has complex problems that do not require part-time participation. Let's look at Nigeria's critical needs. Our economy is unstable. We have drained healthcare, educational problems, poverty, and Nigeria's problems are full-time, which a part-time legislation might not be able to handle. During the COVID-19 scandal, the National Assembly was able to swiftly pass an economic stimulation bill, which I'm sure that other countries with part-time legislature were not able to do that swiftly. My opponents mentioned Texas. Let's go to the United States. In Texas, they practice a part-time legislature, where the legislature meets for 140 days every 2 years. And this system has been highly criticized because they were not able to pass enough laws during the time of national disasters. For my next point, I would like to introduce us to a doctrine called checks and balances. In Nigeria, practice a federal system of government, which means that there is the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. These arms of government work hand in hand for 2 reasons. First, to ensure efficiency, and second and most importantly, to reduce dictatorship. With this, I bring us to the example of the Reichstag legislature in Germany. In Germany, after Adolf Hitler gained power, I asked the question, why were they not able to impeach him? This is because the Reichstag operated a part-time legislature and also drastically reduced their power in checking the executive. And the Duma for the 20th century Russia, the Duma was operating a part-time legislature. Even after gaining power as a provisional government, they were highly unable to hold power before the Bolsheviks gained power in 1917. My opponent also spoke about cost cutting. Let's address this myth of cost savings. He's mentioned that according to a report in budget, the Nigerian National Assembly has an allocation of 344 billion naira. But in hindsight, the budget was 27.5 trillion naira, which means that the National Assembly takes only 1.25% of the whole national budget. Are we not looking at the part that the national budget also, 9 trillion naira of that budget is used in servicing deficits? This is a problem that needs to be addressed. Honorable judges, esteemed audience, let's all be clear. The proposition solution is not a solution at all. Converting the National Assembly into a part-time body might sound like a simple fix, but it is a very dangerous one. It fails to address real issues like accountability. It worsens our ability to handle crisis. It risks increasing corruption and divided loyalties among lawmakers. The challenges Nigeria faces requires full-time dedication, full-time focus, and full-time commitment. And only with that can our problems change in this nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So now I'll be calling on the second speaker from the proposition area. That is Oshun Samuel. Please let's celebrate him.
The crux of today's conversation is about which model provides better governance. Opposition tells you that the part-time lawmakers, it will compromise on legislative quality and productivity. But the truth is the full-time current system that we have is bloated with inefficiencies. See, key bills are being passed slowly. They go on recess even when critical issues are at stake. The truth is, see, a research given by Ohio State University shows that in a part-time legislature, see, legislators make fewer but more effective bills. It means it forces a culture shift, a shift towards urgency, focus, and discipline. That is something we get. But what is the best model we could have gotten from opposition? Because they obviously cannot concede to the status quo. We expect them to concede to a full-time governance with reduced cost of governance and maybe some little internal reforms. But the truth is, internal reforms will always suffer bureaucratic inertia and some politicking. In a full-time governance with reduced pay, lawmakers feel cheated because they feel like the amount of work they do is no longer commensurate to the pay they get. Hence, they feel dissatisfied, disgruntled, make bad policies, and even worsen the existing inefficiencies that we have with the current system. You see, the truth is, our model provides incentives and opportunities for productive, satisfied, and even accountable models through performance-based metrics, right? It is a mechanism that naturally needs to be introduced. A performance-based evaluation and rewards. See, full-time legislators we have today do not have the pressure to deliver real-time results because they feel they have all the time. With part-time lawmakers, the stakes are higher. With fewer sessions, every bills, every vote, every oversight functions must count. See, part-time lawmakers are subjected to higher degrees of productivity. Clear metrics such as constituency engagement, the numbers of bills they passed, oversight function performed will be used to assess their performance and then rewarded accordingly. See, Daniel extensively showed you how that we could save a lot of cost with our model. But the goal of today's conversation is not even to save cost. It is how that we redirect those costs to critical sectors like education, healthcare, infrastructure. So it is never about reducing cost. It is about rebalancing our national priorities. The national budget would then be redesigned with the saved cost in view to allocate funds to other critical sectors. See, what is important we understand in today's conversation is that if OP still believes that, we're going to make bad policies and then the cost of the bad policies will outweigh the cost we'll totally save. The truth is, bad policies don't come from the time constraints we set for them. They come from misaligned incentives and accountability measures not being put in place, all of which we provide in our model. You see, Nigerians, the Nigeria we want is one where governance is not only effective, but efficient, responsive, and accountable. A part-time model offers a bold step to approaching that. The time has come to embrace a more productive National Assembly. It's about making it sharper, smarter, and more impactful. Let us move with a Nigeria that meets the demands of the modern Nigeria. A governance where we have a governance that works better and not harder. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that speech. Please let's not forget that the time would be reading just right in front of us here so we can keep it in our minds. Okay, so now I'll be calling on the second speaker, opposition from Bayes University. Please let's celebrate her.
All protocols to be observed. I'm Vanessa Obiamalu from Bayes University, second speaker for the opposing team. And today we have a vital question before us. Should National Assembly be converted to a part-time legislature? My opponents argue that part-time legislature leads to better efficiency. But in honesty, true efficiency deals with governance, with strategic reforms, not limited hours. Part-time legislature hinders lawmakers from gaining experience to oversee executive effectively. What Mr. Oyeka once said, that part-time legislature over-impacts executive powers, therefore leading to increasing and enhancing their powers, causing a dangerous imbalance in their powers, leading to overseeing and destroying checks and balances. It was also mentioned about budgeting, how 344.5 billion is given to National Assembly out of 27.5 billion. But let's note that this is just 1.2% of the budgeting. And this is used to support in creating checks and balances, which help to create quality. My opponents argue as well that part-time helps to reduce costs, but in reality it does not. Part-time makes having expenses increase in the long run, from emergency meetings to rushed fixes to administrative demands. We should look at creating strategic reforms and not looking for how to reduce limited hours. We should look at implementing transformative budgeting that would help to bring about transparency, planning, auditing. As voters, we should look at voting rights, voting people who are ready to support us and represent our needs properly. Lawmaking is complex and requires full-time commitment. Reducing our assembly to part-time makes leaving critical issues unresolved. Currently, the assembly meets only 3 days a week, Tuesday to Thursday, and yet struggle to meet the quorum. Cutting this time further causes critical issues to be unresolved, from security to economic reforms, which is stalled due to lack of time and attendance. A full-time assembly is essential for fostering the expertise needed for governance. Let's look at Labour Party representative of Kwara constituency, Mr. Donald Matthew, who was an Okada rider. With part-time, how would he be able to understand the experiences and fractures needed in making informed decisions? While my opponents argue that part-time might save money, diminishing the budget in the name of saving money would compromise the quality of legislative costs. Honorable judges and audience, making our legislative part-time is not the solution. Rather than a risky cost-saving experiment, we should focus on reforms that enhance efficiency without compromising democracy, transparent budgeting, ethical standards, and public auditing. So I ask you, should we risk weakening our democracy for a small saving or invest in meaningful reforms that strengthen it? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. Okay, so now we'll be taking the closing statement for both the proposition and opposition, and you have just 1 minute for that. So let's take the proposition first. So the first speaker. Thank you.
The first speaker said, and I quote, "It may cost us less money, but we need to invest in this." It means they already concede to the fact that they lose the first part of the motion, which is to reduce costs. We achieve it on our side. Secondly, they told you it is challenging and demanding. We agree, and that's why we're implementing the part-time. It is because being a part-time legislator means you are also a part of the Nigerian system. You work in that same economy, you implement policies over. It means you better understand the impact of the laws you're passing, and you then become better informed to pass and implement more efficient ones. More so, they came to tell you that the money is not that much, right? Why don't you just keep spending it? Nigeria is struggling. We're in a debt trap. We keep borrowing loans to pay debts. And you're telling me that money is not too much? Panel, it is high time we save the dying economy. Nigeria is struggling, and we need to reduce our spending. Very proud to propose. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be taking the closing statement from the opposition from Bayes University. Please, let's celebrate them.
Standing on all existing protocols, I remain Onemena Odebala. And as I conclude, I'd like us to cast our minds back to what the first speaker said when he said he proposes a 30 to 60-day sitting over 4 sessions. According to Section 63 of the 1999 Constitution, the National Assembly is required to sit for a minimum of 180 days a year. Are you not proposing more than they already sit now? Let us look at the National Assembly. My second speaker said they sit for 3 days in a week, which means they sit for 144 days. Reducing this time would further impact their efficiency and give them excuses for their actions. In legal jurisprudence, there are reasons that add up to a strong argument. First, the conclusion, the reasons for that conclusion, and the evidence backing up that conclusion. I believe I have given it to everyone here. And today with this, I hope to oppose this motion that states that the National Assembly should be converted to a part-time legislature. Thank you.
Wow, that was a beautiful round. Please let's celebrate all our speakers. Please let's celebrate them. It's not easy. Please celebrate them once again. Thank you very much. Okay, so briefly, before I give it to the chair judge to talk about and give us a feedback and comment, I just want to recognize the presence of some guests that we have here. So first of all, please, if I call your name, please just wave at us and then we'll just clap for you. So Mr. Paul Wojoade, please let's celebrate him. Okay, thank you very much. We have Mr. Damilare Fabi, please let's celebrate him. Miss Mercy Akonde, please let's celebrate her. Okay. We have Miss Nifemi Olatilo. Thank you, please let's celebrate her. We have Miss Eboluwa Oladipo. Okay. So we also have Miss Princess Ibiang. And we have Mr. Samuel Adebayo. Please let's celebrate him. Okay, so once again, I want to welcome us to the Youth Leadership Debates Competition, which is an initiative of the Nigerian Youth Future Fund. And secondly, I also want to say that it is proudly sponsored by MacArthur Foundation and Ford Foundation. So please let's celebrate them once again. So who can remember our logo, our chant? When I say Nigerian Youth Future Fund, we say the Nigeria we want. So let's go in. Nigerian Youth Future Fund. Nigeria Youth Future Fund. Please let's celebrate ourselves once again. Okay, so briefly, I just want to take a comment from any one of the guests on what you think about today's, the speech that just went off. Anybody, what do you think? Any comment? Before I give it to the chair judge. Okay, he has something to say. Please let's celebrate him.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Akinyemi Oladapo, the president of Nigerian Medical Laboratory Science Student Association. Please, I want us to appreciate the speakers. Please, let's appreciate them. Yeah, they've actually hit the nails on the head. Although it's a debate, and of course we are going to have a winner, but that will be decided by the judges. However, I actually want to particularly appreciate one of the speakers, in person of Akinyiwola Daniel. He graduated from the same secondary school, Akunais College, Akure, and I've always known him to be a very good guy. You know, right from then, we're in literary and business society together. I welcome you to Domosho. So please let's appreciate the speakers once again. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, so the chair judge, are you ready for us to give a comment? Okay.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for the speakers once again. Well, it was a very interesting debate, very intense, and I really appreciate how much effort went into researching, even trying to convince or persuade us into your side of the debate. So I really, really appreciate that. Of course, they said that later on we'll go into more specific and more detailed, like critiquing, but overall, I think it was very interesting and well done to both teams.
First of all, congratulations to both teams for making it this far. They can't have scaled through all the previous levels without having some level of prowess and skill, and that has been on display today, so please let's give them a round of applause. It was an excellent debate, and the points were very well thought out, and very well, the reasons behind them were very well sourced. It showed that they did their homework coming into this debate. So well done, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. Just like the judges have said, you guys did a great work.
And I think one thing I'll point out here is that I loved how most of you highlighted your point. It was quite easier to follow through the points and the arguments that were raised overall. Thank you.
Thank you, our judges. Please let's celebrate them once again. Okay, so we also have some guests that arrived while we were talking. So I just want to recognize the presence of Mr. Iyanoluwa Odedeji. Please let's celebrate him. Thank you for coming. We have Miss Ifedolapo Adaramola. Please let's celebrate her. And then we also have Mr. Jayola Taofik. Please let's celebrate him. Okay. Then we also have Miss Ifeoluwa Toyosi Adeniro. Please let's celebrate her. Some of them are shy. Please let's celebrate them more. Okay, thank you for that. So please, I just want to correct myself. When I say the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, we say the Nigeria we want. So let's go again. The Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Exactly. So it's proudly sponsored by MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, and Luminate. And we also want to recognize our technical partners in person of Future Work Africa and Budge. Please let's celebrate them. Okay, so we also have some guests that arrived. We have the immediate past NIMOSA president in person of David Adesoye. Please let's celebrate him. We have the immediate past president of NONSA Lautech in person of Miss Mayowa Afolabi. Let's celebrate her. Okay, thank you very much for that. So now we'll be going to the second round. So the second round would involve University of Benin and Benue State University. Please let's celebrate those two schools. So I'll be calling on the proposition team, which is the first speaker from University of Benin. Please let's clap for him as he makes his way up the stage. Sorry for her.
So even King Solomon, the wisest monarch that has ever lived, as rich and as self-fulfilling as he was, he still said, 2 are better than 1, for there is a good reward for their labor. Esteemed panel of judges, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Faith Moka, and I, alongside my co-debater, Adepoye Malumi from the University of Benin, would be strongly supporting the motion that says the public-private partnership is the best solution for addressing Nigeria infrastructure deficits. Before I proceed further, I would like to clarify 2 terms. 1, infrastructure deficits. It simply refers to the lack of adequate facilities to be able to cater for the needs of the citizens. 2, public-private partnership. It simply refers to the agreement between the public sector, usually the government, and private organizations and individuals to merge resources together to build infrastructures and facilities for the community. Now, I want us to take clear emphasis on merging resources. It is important to note that the public-private partnership is simply a platform for 2 powerhouses to come together and build on their strengths. My argument will hence be based on the following points. 1, the public-private partnership helps to cover the financial gap in our infrastructure building. The public funds enough, and the funds of the Nigeria government is grossly inadequate to cover for the current infrastructure deficit that we are facing. According to World Bank, Nigeria needs to generate at least $2.3 trillion a year to cover for its infrastructural deficit. Meanwhile, we are still struggling with a debt of over $108 billion. How exactly is a country that is struggling to service its debt be able to raise such amount of money to cover for its deficit? It's like asking a man who has been living on borrowed gari to prepare you a sumptuous meal of amara and begiri with all forms of assorted meat. I mean, you should know what to expect. However, when you come together to partner with the public sector and the private sector, what you get is the private sector bringing in their strengths of funds to aid the public sector in carrying out its infrastructural development. Let's look at the Esso Road construction, which is popularly known as the Lekki Toll Road. That construction was done by partnership with the private and the public sector. The private sector then being the Lekki Concession Company. where they came in to sponsor with their funds, bringing in private investors for the construction of the road, while the government backed them up with policies and lands. With the agreement that after 30 years, the road and the revenue gotten from the toll gates will go back to the governor. So what are we saying? Partnership is the only way out to developing our infrastructures. Another point to note is that the public-private partnership creates room for attracting private expertise and properly maintaining our facilities. Now, in year 2014, there was a need to create a recreational and tourism center to generate revenue for the Federal Capital Territory. However, it didn't have the expected expertise to create such. So what happened? It created a partnership with a private company known as Actis, and together they made the Jack B. Lake Mall. What happened? As at today, that company is what, or that tourism center, which belongs to the federal government, is worth over 10.3 billion coming from partnership. And then, do we talk about the job opportunities that this partnership has created? The Jabi Lake Mall on its own is expected to generate a revenue of over 128 billion naira in less than 20 years, coming from partnership. Let's go back to my illustration of the man that you asked to make a sumptuous meal of amala and bibiri. If he comes and say, I have the pot, I have the yam flour, I have the firewood, and his neighbors comes and say, oh, I have the ewedu, I have the beans, the shaki, the stockfish, the goat meat. What do you think will happen when these two come together and then create a sumptuous meal? Bet me a table will be prepared before you, both in the presence of your friends and your enemies. I raise a hand. It makes no sound. I join a second hand. We can hear a sound clap. But then I clap. You clap. We clap. What is made? An ovation. So what are we saying? Alone, the Nigerian government cannot build our infrastructure. With limited partnership, it can only help to do a little. But by exploring the opportunities that come from the public-private partnership, we are in for innovation in our infrastructure development. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So once again, I want to reiterate the topic. It's public-private partnerships are the best solution for addressing Nigeria's infrastructure deficit. So now I'll be calling on the first speaker, opposition, from Benue State University. Please let's make a round of applause for him. Please let's clap for him.
Even when Solomon said that two heads are better than one, he meant two good heads and not two bad. Thus, one good head will be better than two bad brains. The incentive from the Western world has bootstrapped us into believing that the public-private partnership is the best solution to infrastructural deficit in Nigeria. However, despite its adoption since the late 1990s to the early 2000s, Nigerian infrastructure has suffered incessant delay and dilapidation. From the Guto-Bagana road construction to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, from the ACBD concession to the Murtala Mohammed Airport Terminal 2. These are few among the many failed PPP construction in Nigeria. Yet we gather here to argue that the PPP is the best solution to infrastructural deficits in Nigeria. Best? Are there no better options? Have we explored them? According to the Director General of the ICRC, from 2013 to 2023, over 103 projects under PPP has been approved. However, despite this, the infrastructure in Nigeria have been sent to their early graves without any memory on their epitaph. I am Bob Isaac Edu from Benue State University, and I stand here to vehemently oppose with alacrity the motion that the public-private partnership is the best solution to infrastructural development or deficit in Nigeria. Considering the complex nature of the topic and for the purpose of clarity, I would love to give a definition of the key terms. According to the National Institute for PPP, the public-private partnership is a contractual agreement between the public sector and a private entity in which both bring their assets and their skill together and put up risks for the benefit of the society. Similarly, an article by the ICPMI have defined infrastructural deficit as the gap between the infrastructural demand and the infrastructural supply. Having given a succinct definition of the key terms, I shall now go into the heart of the matter. Our argument today is not that the PPP is not good, but rather that it is not the best. And in giving this, we shall be taking 6 salient standpoints. 1, that there is an inadequate legal framework. 2, that there is lack of transparency and corruption. 3, that there is, secondly, that there is lack of corruption, that there is lack of transparency and corruption. 3, that their profit maximization is their basic goal. I shall be handling these 3, while my second speaker shall be handling the rest of the 2. To start with, lack of adequate legal framework. This is the basic problem with the implementation of the PPP in Nigeria. Despite the establishment of the ICRC in 2005, there are significant gaps and spaces that left to be filled. This lack of legal foresight has made it possible for the private sector to cut corners and bring about substandard infrastructure. Secondly, we shall be arguing that the PPP, that is the private sector particularly, prioritize profit maximization rather than the satisfaction of the public good. This is a fundamental flaw. Thus, in a report by the SERAP 2002 have provided that the public-private partnership, particularly the private organization, focus more on making profit rather than meeting the needs of the public. This they do by focusing on high profit areas and neglecting the essential but less profitable areas of the local or rural infrastructure, education, and healthcare. How then will the country have an even development? Is a question that I put to your consciences today. Secondly, lack of transparency and corruption. The lack of transparency in the PPP system has made it impossible to confront the elephant in the room: corruption. Thus, according to the Nigeria Bureau of Public Enterprises, more than 40% of Nigerian PPP projects face an accurate problem of corruption. And if we have not settled this, how can we say that this is the best solution to infrastructure? My lord, I mean best. Best means something that has no other that is better. So let's try to explore the opportunities that exist. Fourth and lastly, I shall be arguing the lack of inequitable development. Since they focus more on high areas and urban areas as reported by the World Bank, that 70% of the projects in Nigeria from 2000 to 2020 focus more on urban areas, they neglect the infrastructural development in the rural areas. Thus, it leads to inequitable development. Considering that we are not arguing that the PPP is not good, but that it is not the best, we suggest rather that there should be a strengthening of the public sector investment such that there will be fiscal flexibility. In conclusion, let me re-emphasize that our argument today is not that the PPP is not good, but that it's not the best. As a nation, let us adopt a system that prioritizes inclusive, transparent system that will bring about the Nigeria we want. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So I'll be calling on the second speaker for the proposition from the University of Benin. Please, let's celebrate him.
I have a confession to make. The speaker from the opposing side is hiding a secret, and I'm here to reveal it to you all. A honorable panel of judges. Standing on existing protocols, I am Adeboye Malumi, a distinguished representative from the University of Benin. The secret I'm about to divulge to you all lies in the heart-wrenching story of Mr. Rocky Mobi, a furniture importer based in Onitsha, whose daily life was a grueling struggle because he spent between 300,000 naira to 400,000 naira just to bring a container to Onitsha, as reported by the Daily Trust newspaper on the 17th of October 2020. But today, thanks to public-private partnership with Universal Elysium Consortium that led to the rehabilitation of the Onitsha River Port, his hurdles are behind as he testifies. This is a live testimony of how public-private partnership has led to the addressing of infrastructural deficits in Nigeria. This automatic partnership also was reported by the Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, on the 17th of February 2022 to bring in over 50 billion naira in revenue to the federal government and to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs. Critics may, however, want to argue that the public-private partnership has an increase in user charges and it's very expensive, not considering the needs of the poor. However, evidence begs to disagree. Somebody say evidence. This is stated in the report by the World Bank in September 2009, which states that not up to a year after the initiation of the Lagos BRT, which is one of the biggest achievements of the Lagos state government, passengers began to experience a decrease by 30% in transportation costs, with about 71% of these users being from low and middle income households. This shows that this public-private partnership, if done properly, can lead to decrease in user charges across all sectors. It might also want to be argued by the opposition that the public-private partnership leads to loss of public control over essential infrastructure in Nigeria. However, let us examine the law. Section 20 of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission Act of 2005 states that the commission is expected to regulate and ensure compliance with private operators in their agreements. This is exemplified in the Lagos Toll Gate Agreement, which states that 30 years after its execution, the return should go to the government. In conclusion, let us imagine this: in Nigeria, where every young entrepreneur is struggling daily under the crumbling structures and infrastructures that we have. We are building public-private partnership, not just for roads, not just for railways, not just for ports, but because we are building a bridge to a future where everyone has adequate infrastructure and has a level competitive play field with our international counterparts. We ask you to think about this as we ponder on our discussions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that speech. So now I'll be calling on the second speaker for the opposition side from Benue State University. Please let's celebrate him.
The speaker from the proposition has shown us statistics from the World Bank 2009, but that was a projection. We're in 2024 and we have seen the realities that these promises have not lived up to its expectation. One of the examples is the road that leads between Ibadan to this Ogbomoso. It has been abandoned. This is a product of PPP. The question that stands before us today is, how did this PPP began? If you look at the truth, countries had several issues to confront providing infrastructure with limited resources. Many persons believe that public-private partnerships will bring about the solution. In fact, the World Bank, the United Nations, OECD, and the G20 group all promoted this. But this has not lived up to its expectation as the best. If it is the best, I want to ask us this question: why is it that Nigeria still suffers infrastructure crisis every single day? Over 56% of Nigerians lack access to basic infrastructure, and despite 2 decades of PPP investment in Nigeria, we have 70% of our roads being dilapidated. I would like to reply to my opponent again before I go on. He made mention of the fact that the PPP is providing infrastructure, but he did not pay attention to the fact that over 90% of the infrastructure in Nigeria is still provided by the government. That is the more efficient solution. I am Onlakanguto Joseph from Benue State University, here to oppose. To begin, PPPs deepen inequality. PPPs focus on profit maximization, avoiding through public service. If you look at affordability of the infrastructures, you would see that Nigeria has a very low income rate, and PPPs only succeed where you have high or middle income countries. And I'm talking about Nigeria is on actually the middle income, but it's on the lower side of it, you get. So now it's when you have countries that are on the higher side, that's when they are more efficient. Like Philippines, Brazil, these countries have much higher income rate than Nigeria. Panel. According to the World Bank, Nigeria has a 93 million poverty level, with people living on less than $1. Over 86.9 million of those people live in abject poverty. The question before us is that, how will these people be able to pay toll gates to travel from very short distances? If this cannot be done, how will the private companies recover their money? And if they are not sure of recovering, they cannot invest in infrastructure that will lead to true development. What are our recommendations for solutions? A public-public partnership would ensure that governments partners with agencies and foreign governments and ensure that it brings about solutions that do not give away public control. So this we suggest. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that speech. So now we'll be taking the closing statement from the from the proposition side. That is the University of Benin. The closing statement. Thank you. Let's celebrate her.
Well, the opposition has done a good job. But I have a question to ask. When the change of wind blows, do you build walls or you build windmills? Building walls might seem to be comfortable and help you stay behind your comfort zone. But the Nigeria we want is not the Nigeria where it seems to be safest, but rather the Nigeria where we harness all the potentials and resources that we can. So I agree with you that at this point, the public-private partnership is not at its best. So we are proposing, let there be more policies to make it at its best, because it has done a lot in the years previous, and it can do more when more policies are put into place. We are here standing on this ground because of the platform given to us by a private organization, Leap Africa, and to that we are immensely grateful. Can you imagine the kind of infrastructure they'll be able to build in the mind of all the students around the world if there is a partnership with the public sector? I leave you to imagine that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So we'll be taking the closing statement from the opposition, which is University of Benue State University. Please let's clap for him.
The question before us is about the most efficient system to be able to improve our infrastructures. As we have shown you that public-private partnership is not the best solution. Now, what we are looking for in this debate is the very best. And according to the International Transport Forum and OECD discussion paper of 2013, it reported that PPD does not change the net value of the government cash flow, and it does not make investment more affordable. Neither does it what it reveals also is that if government cannot afford a project through traditional funding, it cannot do the same through PPP. That is because these private companies have to actually recoup what they have spent on these projects. And sometimes there are very hidden costs that are not reviewed through all the documents. And this brings about the whole issue of transparency. And when you cannot get private companies that are very transparent, then you cannot achieve that. Leap Africa is transparent. That is why this program is effective. Thank you.
Please let's celebrate our speakers. It was a very, very lovely round. Please let's celebrate them once again. Okay, before I call on the chair judge, I would like to quickly recognize the presence of some of our student representative council members. In person of, we have the immediate past president of NAUNSA, LAUTECH, in person of Mr. Jayola Taofik. Please let's celebrate him once again. Thank you. We also have Miss Mayowa Afolabi. Please let's celebrate her. She can just wave her hands. Okay, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so we also have the immediate past vice president of Ladoke Akintola University Medical Students Association, in person of Samuel Oladele. Please let's celebrate him. Thank you so much for honoring our invite. Okay, so quickly, does anyone have any comments as regards the debates that just did this particular round? So anybody can just raise up your hand. Okay, so I'll just be giving it to the chair judge for their feedback before we go to round 3.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause once again for the speakers. Well done to both schools that slugged it out in this round. I think I would just like to keep my comments to when we are giving more specific comments. Yeah, so other judges would like to do this. What do you have?
I must say I'm enjoying myself. Kudos to the speakers once again. Please, can we celebrate them? I think one thing I love about this particular round was that they were able to bring more of the Nigerian context, and those points were more relatable overall, it was a great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our judges. Okay, before we go to round 3, when I say Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, let's go again, like I've forgotten it. Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Love it, love the energy. So once again, the Youth Leadership Debates Competition is an initiative of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund and is proudly sponsored by MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, and Luminate. Please let's celebrate them once again. So to any of our guests that are just arriving, I want to welcome you once again. We're going to the third round of our debate, and this would be between Ahmadu Bello University and Lagos State University. Please let's celebrate them. Now the topic is investing in digital skills training is more crucial for Nigeria's future workforce than reforming the traditional education system. I come again. Investing in digital skills training is more crucial for Nigeria's future workforce than reforming the traditional education system. So I'll be calling on the first speaker proposition from, okay, please, the first speaker proposition from Lagos State University, right? Okay, Ahmadu Bello. Okay, please let's celebrate her.
Imagine a future where the global economy is moving forward and Nigeria is left behind just because the Nigerian workforce is not equipped with the necessary skills to meet up with the demand of the global economy. I bring you greetings from the great Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, representing the Shukurat Modukwe at Jagbe, and I stand firmly for the motion which says investing in digital skills training is more crucial for the Nigerian future workforce than reforming the traditional education system. According to the World Bank report, the demand for digital skills globally is expected to increase from 35 to 45% in 2030. The same report translated this estimation as to include 57 million jobs opportunity and about the same number, 57 million persons who will need to skill up or reskill. What does this tell you? This tells you that the current workforce that we have do not possess the necessary digital skills to meet up with the demand as projected by the World Bank. Now, in support of our motion, I give you 2 valid points. Number 1, digital skill training provides workforce with skills that puts Nigeria on a pedestal and makes them competitive. Let's talk about reformation. Reformation of Nigerian education system will not only take us time, money, and human resources. And when I mean money, I mean billions of naira. And when we talk about implementation in Nigeria, history has showed us that for any education reformation policy to be implemented in Nigeria, it has taken nothing less than 10 years. In fact, a policy that is close to home like this is a national policy on education, which was formulated in 1977. Until today, a larger part of that policy is yet to be implemented. From 1977 to 2024 is 48 years interval. Ladies and gentlemen, are we to wait around for 48 years before we are able to revolutionize, before we are able to reform the entire system? So while we are waiting, what happens to our economy? What happens to our workforce? What happens to our pride as a giant of Africa's? Moving forward, for the strength of every nation's workforce is dependent on its the strength of every nation is dependent on its workforce. And for a workforce that is not equipped with the proper skills will not be able to deliver the expected result. So when you equip this workforce with the necessary skills, you are placing Nigeria on a pedestal. You are reinforcing our competitiveness. You are saying to the world that, yes, Nigeria is a giant of Africa. Moving forward, Nigerian digital skill set, digital training gives Nigerian workforce the necessary transferable skills, which spans over all industries. When I mean transferable skills, I mean skills that are flexible, that that adapts to global trends. Reforming the education system is not going to take a year. It's going to take 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and maybe decades. And while we are here still waiting, what happens to our workforce? It cripples. Or we have a workforce that cannot deliver the expected results because of reformation. Moving forward, the traditional education is not only characterized with bureaucracy. It is rigid, it is slow, it doesn't adapt to global trends. So while the world is exploring artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, with artificial big data, AMLs, and other global trends, Nigeria is left behind dealing with JavaScript, CTT Pros, without exploring and tapping the potential this global economy, this trend, this fourth revolution trend is bringing to us. So before I exit this plate, the opposition will come to tell you about how traditional education is the ground upon which digital skills can be built. But what they will not tell you is that digital education is very flexible. It can adapt to all kinds of training. It gives you creativity and innovation, which is a basic thing that the traditional education will also give you, and if not more. And for this very reason that we have canvassed before you today, I hope that you are left with no doubt. And at this point, permit me to drop my mic. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So now I'll be calling on the first speaker opposition from Lagos State University. Please, let's celebrate him.
Imagine you're about to go to war, and our military is in horrible condition. Now, to improve our military, we have two options. The first one is we train military personnel on how to use technological weapons because that is the trend. Or the second is we reform the military training process to one that ensures that every single military personnel has the necessary foundational and fundamental know-how to navigate combat and warfare. It's obvious I would go with the second option because it gives us a higher chance of surviving warfare as everybody knows what they need to survive in these situations. Panel, the exact same thing is happening in today's debate. Proposition is suggesting that we invest in digital skills training, but what that does, it thins down the lines of our workforce to people who have technological expertise. But a reform of the educational system, on the other hand, gives every single individual the necessary fundamental and foundational know-how that they need to contribute to be an active and efficient member of the Nigerian workforce. It is on this ground that we oppose the topic. And to do this, I have 3 points. The first point is that digital skills do not address the root cause of our problem. The second point is that you cannot give what you do not have. And the last point is we consider the feasibility of proposition side. To begin with, digital skills do not address the root cause of our problem. According to the World Bank Open Data, they published a literacy rate ranking report. And out of about 194 countries, Nigeria isn't in top 10, top 20, top 50, or even top 100. We're sitting horribly at number 184. And according to the International Labour Organization, this is the major problem with our workforce because the majority of individuals in the workforce still struggle with basic literacy and numeracy deficiencies. So for a policy to claim to be essential and crucial to improving our workforce, it has to solve that problem. And an educational reform does just that, as it directly tackles the problem of literacy and numeracy deficiencies. But a digital skill education, on the other hand, doesn't address this problem. Rather, it only benefits a small population that have the necessary foundational knowledge to utilize these skills. And this provides a skilled workforce where the majority is irrelevant and only the minority can contribute to the technological growth of the nation. And that is not what we want the future of the Nigerian workforce to look like. Moving on to my second point. You cannot build something on nothing and expect it to stand. You see, digital skills require 2 things to thrive. 1, stable internet, and 2, stable electricity. Panel. As Nigerians living in Nigeria, we know that this is far from our case. On the 17th of July 2021, Technology Times published an article that revealed that the Nigerian internet system ranks 132nd globally. On the 21st of December 2023, Statista reported that our power system generates about 35.7 thousand gigawatt hours every year. That is a miserable 0.11% of what we need as a nation. This is supposed to be the foundation for digital skills training, and the foundation isn't just bad, it's horrible. And what happens when we ignore this pressing issue and focus on digital skill training is that we shoot ourselves in the legs, because the thing is, the people who have these technological skills want to go to places where these skills can be properly utilized, and that place is definitely not Nigeria. So what happens is we fund brain drain with our resources that we could use to improve our education, as opposed to helping the workforce for the country. A great proof of this is what happened with India. The New Delhi-based Human Capital Institute reported that after training, the best trained individuals in India migrated to places where their potential could be maximized. And that is not what we want for our workforce. We want a workforce of people who are ready to commit to the growth, and not people that will leave to places where their potential will be maximized. And the last point I would like to raise is the weak feasibility of proposition. You see, before we consider any policy, we need to consider how we plan to implement it. And according to the Global Education Monitoring Report of 2023, digital transformation in education is far out of the reach of low-income and middle-income countries, with setting up a single hub ranging from about $15,000 to over $1 million. And the proposition tried to argue that the implementation of our policy is more cost consuming, as opposed to what the statistics say, that a single hub can cost about $15,000, or in extreme cases, over $1 million to implement. What happens in this case is when we try to fix this problem, we bite off more than we can chew, we don't end up finishing the product, we waste resources that we could have used to improve our educational system, and ultimately the workforce doesn't benefit in any single way. And that is the main reason why we suggest that we reform the educational system, as opposed to start a project that we will not be able to finish. Digital skills education do not equip Nigerians with the skills that we need to compete globally unless they have a healthy foundation. And that healthy foundation is built on a reformed educational system. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So quickly, I'll be calling on the second speaker for the proposition from Ahmadu Bello University. Please, let's celebrate him.
Ladies and gentlemen, knowing what makes for relevance in every time will provide you two opportunities. Number one, for development, and number two, for growth. I appreciate the fluency and the oratory with which my opponent argued his points. But to start with, we're talking about Nigeria and the Nigeria we want. You and I are aware. Observing the current topic with respect to Nigerian challenges and difficulty, there are things we have to consider why we choose to support the motion that said we must invest in digital skill compared to reforming the traditional education system. We are not arguing the fact that the education system doesn't have a problem or reformation is needed. It's very, very interesting. But the challenge facing the Nigerian youth is that, according to the World Bank, Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people, and the majority of those percentage, basically half of it, are less than 30 years. And that defines what we call the workforce. The workforce, according to International Labour Organization, define the workforce age as age between 15 to 30 years. That shows that, age between 15 to 65 years, rather. That shows that the vast majority of Nigerians are within the context of the workforce. Now he argued that we should reform the education. Then I asked the question, what about the percentage of the workforce of the Nigerians that have no access to education? How does the reformation affect them? He spoke about the reforming the foundation as the basis on which technological reform can be made upon. I agree totally with that. But the question now is this. In the face of digital skill training, it does not require much time as the reformation may require. And as such, I present before you that our argument in support of this motion is that it creates room for flexible passing of knowledge that can help individuals to make self-employment and create role for self-employment and possibly growth for individuals. Nigeria is the country faced currently with issues of unemployment rate, and the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics pegs that the current rate of unemployment among the youth is 8.4%. If this continues, what will happen to the youth? We're talking about Nigeria we want. A Nigeria where economies thrive, a Nigeria where people growth, and a Nigeria with society that is well balanced on both sides. And to do that, we need to create room that allow for all-round growth. And to do this, we have to give room for digital growth, for digital training, which equipped individuals with skills that meant for relevant in the current state. And to do this, I give you a story. Sheon was a graduate from University of Ile-Ife, an electric engineering student. After his graduation, he found out that to gain employment quality for development, he had to have a knowledge that's needed. And of course, he engaged in digital training. And at that, he developed a platform called the Naira Land platform, which today is very useful to all of us. As I do not violate the order, I do not disagree with the opinion of the opponent, I want to say that investing in digital skill training will provide employment for every one of us, and the society we actually want will strive. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. So quickly, I'll be calling on the second speaker, opposition from Lagos State University. Please let's celebrate him.
My grandmother wants to cook a pot of intercontinental dish, but she has a leaking cooking pot. To solve this problem, rather than fix the leaking cooking pot, she has decided to stuff all of the ingredients into the pot with the hope that the pot cooks. So when she placed the pot on the fire, nothing cooked because all of the ingredients already leaked into the fire. This is exactly what today's debate is talking about. If we refuse to acknowledge the defaults in the educational system, we realize that we're only stuffing the educational system by investing in digital skills. And in reality, the educational system cannot cook all of this into a sustainable workforce because the educational system is leaking. And what we need is sustainable educational reform. Judges, ladies and gentlemen, to continue the argument the first speaker started, I argue that digital divide is the major reason why digital training would not succeed in Nigeria. And finally, the education reform encompasses all we need for a sustainable workforce. Let's move to digital divide. The Neurometric in March 2024 reported that 20% of the country's population have access to computer. 49% of the country's population have access to smartphone, and 51% of the country's population have access to none of this. So if the government decides to invest in digital training, it simply means that 51% of the country's population who doesn't have any phone cannot have access to it. 49% of the country's population with smartphone who struggle with downloading these applications on their phone, and only 20% of the country population with computer can rugged and try to be beneficiaries of these services. Ladies and gentlemen, it then begs the question, what is the purpose of utilizing all of our resources in building a system where only 20% of the country's population will benefit from it? And if the proposition proposed that the government can also invest in providing digital services for these countries, let them know that 7.8% of the country's budget was allocated to education, and the government does not have the money to provide access to digital training and also provide access to digital devices. We cannot afford it, and the best thing we need to do is to invest in what we can afford, educational reform. Moving to the second point, it is important to clarify that educational reform does not just limit to reforming the educational system. Educational reform also includes restructuring the educational system to conform with global best practices. So the argument of the opposition that digital training would help conform with the global best practices also apply in this situation, because according to research, the UNESCO in 2018, 65% of the countries who are members of the OECD were able to implement digital skill training into the traditional educational reform of their system. And what did this do? It accelerated the services of the country and increased the rate of educational workforce to 8%. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is that digital skill training is a key feature of educational reforms. So if the government chooses to invest in educational reforms, it simply means that the government has the resources. The government is building a sustainable educational system that encompasses digital skill reform and a sustainable development. My name is Abdulkadir Ajenia Oluwagbemiga, and I have spoken.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that speech. So quickly, I'll be inviting the closing statement for the proposition team. So please, the first speaker from Ahmadu Bello University, please let's celebrate her.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a warfare that needs technological advancements to go to war, but rather the equipment of our workforce. Now, opposition has made a clear error when presenting their argument, because this argument is not on the whole population of Nigeria. Rather, we are concentrated within the framework of what the workforce of Nigeria is. And according to the labor survey report, the current workforce are people who are over 15 years old and are available to work at that moment, which means you and I, at the next 10, 20 years, will constitute the current workforce. And if we do not have the necessary skills to deliver what is expected of us, what do you think will happen to our economy? The opposition has told you how to establish a hub is going to cost $1 billion. But the fallacy of this argument is what they have not told you, is that Nigerian public secondary school is 171,000. This is excluding the primary schools and secondary schools. And for this reason, we are proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech. Okay, so quickly we'll be taking the closing statement from the opposition team from Lagos State University. Please let's celebrate him.
You see, very quickly, the proposition stated that the argument for today isn't towards Nigerian population, but the Nigerian workforce. However, I have a question. Is it the Ghanaian population or the Nigerian population that constitutes of the Nigerian workforce? The crux of their argument was that the digital skills do not need a strong foundation to thrive, and then she built all their arguments on that premise. So what I'll do is debunk that premise and consequently render all other points inadmissible. An individual with literacy and numeracy deficiencies will struggle with digital skills. I mean, if I struggle to understand natural language, how do I cope with programming language? This shows that the very, very strengthened educational foundation is necessary for digital transformation. So the points on global competition and transferable skills are inadmissible because we wouldn't get through the implementation phase, let alone get through to the benefit phase of digital skills training. Another point she stated was that digital training is more feasible than an education reform because of the finances, but that is something that we have established that is not feasible because the reform of a digital system is a lot more expensive than a reform of the educational system. Thank you.
Please, let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate all our speakers. Wow. We've had 3 hot rounds of debate, so please let's celebrate them once again. Debaters, please celebrate yourselves. You guys have done very, very, very well, so please celebrate yourselves. Okay, so before I ask the chief judge to give us his feedback and comment, I would like to recognize the presence of some of our new guests that we have here. So we have Mr. Peter Olani. Please let's celebrate him. Please let's celebrate him. Okay, so for now, I want us to recite our anchor once again. So Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Okay, so anybody that's coming newly, this is our anchor today. So let's take it again. Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Okay, so briefly, does anyone have any comments as regards all the debates we've done today? Okay, I'm seeing someone raise up their hand from the back. Any other person? Okay, 2. Any other person? Okay, 3. Okay, so let's just quickly take the first person.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So I don't have much to say. I just want to specially appreciate all the speakers. They've done so well, at least to some extent. I can relate to... I should come to the front. Oh. To some extent, I can relate that they put a lot of effort to the preparation, and especially to my guy, Ramadan Olamilekon. He did not disappoint. So thank you very much.
Okay, this is the second person.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I must commend these debaters, that they have really done well. Well, the problem is we have a problem as a nation. Yes, the Nigeria we want, we have a problem as a nation, and that problem must be solved. Thank you.
Okay, there was one more person. Was he? Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Adesoye. I would love to say a big well done to the debaters, but actually, aside from the Lagos State University students, I mean, so many people have been stating wrong facts. Please, for debaters, you should not forget that you have audiences, that some people are here to roast you. So if you are stating facts, let be factual.
So, quickly, does our judges have any feedback for this round before we go into compilation? Okay, they don't have. Okay, they will do everything together. Okay, so while they are doing that, so I want to play a very little game just to keep. So everybody, let's just breathe in, breathe out. Especially our debaters, please breathe in, breathe out. Okay, please let's celebrate them once again. Okay, so what we'll be doing is called Chinese Whisper, but I'm just going to make it very, very sweet and easy. Please, if you are still alone on your line, please go and join another seat. If you know on your row, you're the only person, please just join another row that they are complete, or maybe there's still one more person remaining. Okay, just join any row that is still a little bit empty. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Please, my sister, my brother, can join the row in front of you. Are people there? Okay, then just stay there. Maybe the sisters behind you should join your row if nobody is there. Or just for this, okay, people have joined them. Thank you very much. Okay, so what you'll be doing for me is that when I say start, all you need to do is that from this sister that is at this end, everybody on this row will just whisper something to the next person. So I'll come back and ask the person on this row what they said. Do you understand? So for this row now, the first person here, you whisper something to the people like that. So the last person here, I'll come and ask you what they said. So I'll come to the debaters area. So you start, everybody on this show, you whisper something. So I'll ask the last person what you heard. Do you understand? Oh no, let's do it this way so that I'll ask you. You whisper something. The person on this end of this row will whisper something to you like la 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 la. So I'll come and ask this person here what you heard. Please. So are we ready? Do we understand what I explained? Are we sure we understand? Are we sure we understand? We're not even, I should come again. Okay. I said, the person on this row, everybody on this row, you're whispering something and you're taking it like that, like that. So I'll ask the person on the last row there, what the first person here said. Do we understand? So are we ready? For this area, you people are coming like this. This area, you're going like this. Here too, you're going like this. So people on this first row, are we ready? If you're ready, you say yes with confidence. Are we ready? I can only hear it from this place. These people, they are very conversant with me. Are we ready? So I'll call this group A. Or do you want a different name? Should we give you a name? Okay, we should give you a name. What name should we give you, sister? What should we give this group? Peace. Okay, they said peace. The name of this group is Peace. So you people can say we are war. Or what should we give this group? Indaboski. Okay, they said this group is Indaboski. Love it. So debaters group, every other guest here, what should we give this group? Makuzi. Okay, anybody? Love. Oh, I am love, I am peace, I am Indaboski. Love it. Okay, so are we ready now? Peace, are we ready? Indaboski, are we ready? Okay. Love. Let me say, love, are we ready? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Did you put pass anything in that row? Because you don't look like you're communicating. Okay, so are we done? Indaboski, are we done? Okay, love, are we done? Okay, peace, are we done? Oh, who should I start? Empty, Sakati, empty, out. Okay, you are out for now. Let me start from here. Who should I start from? What did you hear?
This debate's tough.
Is that what you said? Okay, that's what he said. Please, let's clap for them. These people, they know how to keep secrets. They are good secret keepers. Let's come here. What did you hear?
This program is very fantastic.
Wow. Is that what you said? Please, let's clap for them. In the Boski, please don't disappoint us. People pass like this, ba? Okay. Sister, what did you hear?
Is the debate process is going on well? Is the debate program is going on well?
Is the debate program going on well? Okay. Is that what she said? Okay, he said, he just said the debate program is going on well. Okay, they still try. Let's clap for them. I don't know why something's telling me to come to this line. Please, what did you hear?
Today is 26th of October, 2024.
I need to see this sister's face. Today is 26th of October. Is that what you said? Okay, that's actually what she said. Please, let's clap for them. Okay, so let's check from this area. What did you say? Was it you? Okay, it was you. What did you hear?
When are they giving us food?
I have no words. Is that what you said? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Please, let's just clap for them, Sha. Let's clap for them. Let me ask from here. Sister, what did you hear?
Pass the chicken.
Pass the chicken. Hey, brother, please, which chicken? Is there a chicken that you're hiding somewhere? Is that what you said?
A plate of chicken.
A plate of chicken. You people are not good secret keepers. You people cannot keep secrets. Please, let's celebrate ourselves. Okay, so I realized that a lot of secondary school students are at this area. So I want to do a little quiz. Just pray that the people that are in the university here will help people's ministry. Say, please help our ministry. Oh. Okay. Okay, so now this quiz competition is it's very easy actually. You people just have to choose from number 1 to 5, each of the groups. So let's see who wins this battle. Our judges, are you getting ready for us? Okay, a bit, okay. So while they are still compiling the results, so which number do you choose? Anybody? All of them are not looking down. In fact, if you are looking down, that's when I'll come and meet you. Number 2. Number 2, okay. Number 2 says, when was the present Nigeria Youth Policy inaugurated? Is it hard? It's hard. Sorry? It's deep. Okay, the question is deep. Okay, let me not put as the date. Let me just say the year. I'll give you option. Clap for me for giving you option. You think it's easy? A, 2020. B, 2018. C, 2019. D, 2012. And E, 2016. Let's go. Okay, I said, when was the present Nigeria Youth Policy inaugurated? Anybody? See, Peter is looking at me. Maybe he wants to answer for people. Sorry? What do you say? 2020. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It's actually 2019, but let's celebrate them. Peace, people are peaceful. But let's celebrate. At least now we know it's May 24th, 2019. Please, let's celebrate ourselves now. So that when next you go for another competition and they ask you, you can say it proudly. So celebrate yourselves. Love it. Okay, so in the Boski, what number? Don't worry, it's not hard. It's not everything that is hard. It just depends on what you pick. Number 1. Okay, number 1. Okay, so some new ministers were inaugurated. Can you just mention 2? Any of the 2 new ministers that were inaugurated? Their name, just their names. Oh. Anybody, you are not current affairs people. Jumoke. This I should call Jumoke. Okay, there is a Jumoke, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Please let's clap for her. She actually got one. Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. Please, let's clap for her again. She's the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. Okay, so any other person? I said 2. They've given me 1. Some people are smiling us. We should like out to you. Anybody? Please, let's clap for him. Okay, so this group, they are very stuffy people here. Please, let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them now. Even if they might have GO, but let's just celebrate them. Okay, so, love, any number. You are debaters. You are even current affairs people because the way you were just giving it to us. Oh yeah, any number. Number 5. Okay. So, who is the founder of Leap Africa? Who is the founder of Leap Africa? They say debaters. Options. What if I don't want to give you options? I have to. Is it by force? Are you not love? Okay, please let's celebrate them. They want to help our ministry. You should thank them. Say thank you. People have to get it up. Very soon they say thank you. Oh yeah?
Ndidi Okonkwo Nweli.
Oh, please let's clap for her. Yes, she gets. Please clap for her. Please, like, you say it again so everybody can hear you.
Ndidi Okonkwo Nweli.
Please, let's clap for her. So, our judges, are you still ready for us? So, we should continue. We should just continue. Okay, no problem. So, I just need 2 people from love, 2 people from Indaboski, 2 people from peace. 2 people, if you are bold enough, if you know that when your mama gave you, she should tell you, I'm bold, I am Indaboski, I am war, I am peace. Please kindly come out. If not, I will come and call you. So please kindly come out. Just respect yourself and just come out. 2 people, 2 bold people. So quickly. Please, let's celebrate. Are you not coming here? Wow. Okay, anybody? Peace now. Please, let's celebrate this brother. But I said 2 people. This brother on white. Oh, you're coming. Please, let's celebrate him. Celebrate him. Oh, please, celebrate this young brother. Celebrate him. Thank you. Indaboski. Love has come out. I'm still waiting for one more person from love. But and some of them are smiling at me, still looking at me face to face, koro like this. You want me to call you? Okay, let me just wait for them to stand up. Because I even know many of them here. If you think I don't know you, sorry, but I know you. We're still waiting, Love. Anybody. This brother that is crossing his leg. You even still have guts to cross your leg. Okay, we're still waiting. Okay, since they don't want to come, let me do the honors of bringing them out myself. Please clap for me. Thank you, my brother. Kindly stand up. Thank you. Thank you, my sister. Kindly stand up. Thank you. Please, let's celebrate them. Okay, one more person from love. If you know I'm coming for you, just stand up. If not, I'll still come for you, I'll carry you. Thank you. Please, let's celebrate him. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is very simple. But you know that since you did not come out, you just do one job for me. Just one job. You will support the people that came out for you. Are you ready? Yes. And that's why they will see people to say yes. So are you ready to support the people that came out for you? Okay, love it. Are you ready to support the people that came out for you? Love it. Okay. So, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there's only one lady here, but my distinguished gentlemen and men is already, sorry, Emma Benu. My distinguished gentlemen and lady, okay, so all I need you guys to do is just to do a little bit of tongue twister. It's just very simple. It's just very simple, actually. Yeah. So, the first thing we'll go... This boy is very smart, though. Okay, so the word I'm going to give you, I'm sure you must have heard it before. English. the sun shall soon shine. That's all. Very simple, right? So you just go 5 times. No, let's do 10 times. Let's see how if you not do it very well. But please, you should support your people. So are we ready? It's not people asking. You would not come out. Are we ready? Okay. Should we go from here or from that side? That side. Okay, the audience, which side should we go from? No, minus peace and Daddy was there. In the Boski, where should we go from? Emma Beno. Okay, so are we ready?
The sun shall soon shine, 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 the sun shall.
This brother is very proud. Where are you going to? Come back, come back, come back. We're not done with you. But please, let's clap for him. Okay, so are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, the sun shall soon shine. All right, the sun. Okay. The sun shall soon shine, 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 the sun shall soon shine. Okay.
Please, let's celebrate him. It's not easy. In the Boski, please surprise us. So let's go.
All right. The sun shall soon shine. The sun shall soon shine, 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 the sun shall soon shine.
We know some people that read that they took their English very seriously. Oh yeah, so let's go. She's the only lady, so please, let's give her the support.
No pressure. Okay. The sun shall soon shine, 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 the sun shall soon shine.
Fuel has finished. Emma Beno. Don't worry. But please, let's celebrate her. It's not easy, oh. If you're not celebrating, I'll call you. You come and do your own tongue twister. So let's go.
The sun shall soon shine, 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 the sun shall soon.
Please, let's celebrate her. This boy is looking at me, that sister, isn't me you want to come and call like this? But don't worry, you can do it. It's not, you're not teaching you English. Is it verbal reasoning? No, this is secondary school now. English,
The sun shall, I'm sorry. The sun shall soon shine, Abby.
It's okay.
The sun shall soon shine.
Please, let's celebrate him. It's the confidence of this boy for me. Please, let's celebrate him. Thank you so much. Okay, so I just need you guys to do one more thing for me before we go. Just one. It's not take too much of your time. This boy is looking like he want to beat me. Okay, so all I need you to do is just to sing any primary school rhyme that you remember. Let's see how many of you can remember. So I just need you to give me one. Yes, you have to sing it. Let me see how you can still remember your nursery school times. Oh yeah, are you ready? Okay. You don't have to have voice. Don't worry.
Bàtà mi adùn kòkó ká. Bàtà mi adùn kòkó ká. Tí mo bá kàwé mi. Bàtà mi adùn kòkó ká. Tí mi ò bá kàwé mi. Bàtà mi adùn ṣẹ̀rẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ̀ o.
Let's celebrate him. Okay, let's go.
All right, this is quite popular, but I would like to take it the wrong way they taught us. So it goes Sandalili, 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 Sandalili. I'm a teacher in my country. Everybody knows me well. If you look me up and down, you will know that it's Sandalili, 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 Sandalili.
Let's celebrate him. It's not easy. Oh yeah, are you ready for us in the buske? Okay, let's go.
Mr. Macaroni riding on the bicycle. If you want to, Mr. Macaroni, jump up. See? No, wait now. Wait, Mr. Macaroni riding on the bicycle. If you want to carry me, Mr. Macaroni, jump on. Is that what? Oh, is it that? Wait now. Is jump on. Oh yeah, let's see the correct one now. Like, for sake of camera. Oh yeah, so we should sing the other one. All right, Mr. Macaroni. Mr. Macaroni. I don't know the other one. Yeah, what they are singing. You see me, yeah.
This guy, you're too proud. Okay, let's go.
HIP for the E for the Ipopo. P-O-P-O for the Ipopo. And TMUS for the Hippopotamus.
This secondary school students, you better not give it to. Okay, so let's go.
Okay, so some food but cannot eat. Some can eat but have no food. We have food and we can eat. Glory be to thee, O Lord.
Please, let's clap for them. Some of you don't even remember that part. Okay, let's go.
Ọmọ tó mọ̀yà rẹ̀ lójú ó sì yóò tọmọ náà pa. Ọmọ tó mọ̀yà rẹ̀ lójú ó sì yóò tọmọ náà pa. Ìyà tó jìyà pọ̀ lórí rẹ̀, bàbá tó jìyà pọ̀ lórí rẹ̀. Ọmọ tó mọ̀yà rẹ̀ lójú ó sì yóò tọmọ náà pa.
Please, let's clap for him. Wow. So thank you. You guys can go and sit down. Thank you. Thank you for honoring my invitation. Please, let's celebrate them. Okay. So our judges are ready for us. Everybody say dun dun dun. Okay, we should start from Peter. You have not collated yet.
Please, can we celebrate the speakers once again? As someone that personally enjoy national issues like this, debating national issues, I think I really enjoyed my time here today. And please, can we celebrate them once again? Coming here to debate is not in any way easy. So I have some general comments before I move to the specifics. So quickly I will talk about that. I think the first thing I will talk about is facts, figures, and statistics. When it comes to national issues like this is talking about life. It cannot be based on sentiment or what we think are just mere logic or philosophies, but it has to be data. Data is life when it comes to national issues. So I think some speakers really didn't do justice to facts, figures, and statistics. It's really, really important. So I think the second thing I will talk about generally is the aspect of being persuasive. It's a debate. it's very, very important and very necessary. You are trying to convince us. It's not about the words alone. It's about the delivery as well, the ability to carry your audience along, the ability to follow through each of your points and each of your arguments. I think the third thing I will talk about is definitions. Definitions are very powerful when it comes to debate. That's the foundation, especially for the first speaker from the proposition. Definitions are very important. I think let me move to a specific one there, especially digital skills. I'm not too sure if the first speaker from the proposition gave examples of what digital skills are. That would have given us more perspective and more understanding, right, about the topic itself, that these are the digital skills that we are talking about. So I think that should be very important. So definitions, and it gives the boundary, it gives the coordinate of the argument in itself, and it lets us know that this is what we are talking about. So I think another thing I will talk about here is engaging the audience. You should, when you are speaking like that, you should try to engage the audience. Yes, you are giving us points, but you should try to carry us along to see us as part of your speech. For example, I always recommend rhetorical questions. You can ask, you will agree with me. There's a way you can throw it to us that we ourselves will be the one saying, do you get what I'm trying to say there? So that's all. And I think the last thing I'm going to say on general comment is your examples should be well explained enough. You should not just give examples and leave us to figure it out. It should be well detailed, well logical. You should really be able to tally it to your argument. So, and I think the last general comment I will make is that I wasn't too pleased with the rebuttals. They weren't too, they were not concrete enough to rebut some of the things that were said. Okay, so to the specifics. So overall, it was a great one. I think my fellow judges will do better in terms of giving some other ones there. So I think let me just give some specific comment now to Lasso. Lasso really did well. To my right, very excellent point. Use of statistics was strong throughout, facts and figures, and the stage delivery too. Oh my God, that was very excellent. And I think I should also commend, I think the first speaker from the University of Benin, if I'm right. I love her energy. I love the Amala and Gbegre aspect. That made me think about maybe too. While we understand that these are critical issues, but then you can still put some elements of fun inside it, and it will make it all better. As you said, there was a lot of explanations as regards cooking. So if that Amala and Gbegre part was part of the ingredient that was needed to make an excellent delivery. And also, I think I have one comment to give to the Bayes University. They were on the opposition, if I'm right. Right. I think they didn't really clash with the opponent properly. They didn't really give point to counter, especially when it comes to the second speaker. So yes, I think I need to give another comment, right, here about using more of Nigeria's context and history. I think I had issues with that in the first round. You should give, well, it's good to use statistics from Texas, statistics from other countries of the world. There's no issue with that. But then you should come down to Nigeria. Nigeria is a very peculiar country. What is applicable over there might not be applicable right here. There might be some cultural differences, bias. Nigeria is a peculiar country. You agree with me? So when it comes to national debate like this, you give historian perspective. We don't understand that we do not have enough statistics in Nigeria, but then there are still some reliable sources that you can give. So I think I must commend the speakers from Benue State University too. While they had their hiccups, they had some certain stops, but that didn't stop them from continuing. I think they were able to pick themselves up and they were able to continue. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. So for me, the last correction for me from the second speaker from FUTA would be that while you did a great work, your pace was a bit too fast. I'm not sure there were any significant pause throughout your speech. The tone too was not varied enough. It was monotonous almost throughout. So you might want to do well to work on that next time. But overall, they did a very great job. And I really did enjoy my time here today. So can we please celebrate them properly, please?
All right, thank you very much. I believe Peter has covered a lot of what we've observed here today. I must also reiterate that it was a very wonderful debate. Please, can we give them a round of applause? National issues are always very dicey, especially on some of the topics that could go either way, depending on how you choose to see it. It really makes for a very, very interesting debate when you have something that's not day and night. There are a lot of gray areas, and I think that's where the prowess of the debaters really came out. So once again, congratulations. I only have two main general comments that I would give the debaters entirely, and that is one, that I was very impressed by the fact that there were a lot of preemptive rebuttals. That is anticipation of what the opponents would say, and then rebutting that. That is very wonderful, and it shows that you've done your research. It shows that you are thinking ahead. However, there were not enough reactive rebuttals. I think that one point that, like Peter made a reference to, that it's a debate and not a speech. A lot of the problems or a lot of the issues that we had today were the fact that a lot of they came out as speeches, like speeches that were made on their own lane, as opposed to clashing with the ideas presented by the opponents. I think the debaters need to do more in terms of reactive rebuttals as opposed to just, proactive ones. But nonetheless, they were very wonderful, and once again, let's celebrate them. Now, for the first speaker from FUTA, I think first of all, let everybody just first of all give me a round of applause. I've been listening to him speak for, I remember when FUTA first entered the debating scene nationally. That was 2 or 3 years ago, and they were representing for the first time. I've been privileged to see his growth as a speaker, from somebody who just came on like they'd never been there before, to somebody who is giving well-executioned speeches at a debate competition such as this. It is immense growth, and I'm extremely proud of him. I can't wait to see what you do next. For the first speaker from Bayes University, like you said, the rebuttals were more preemptive than reactive, and you gave one rebuttal, but the problem was that the case that was mentioned was already covered in the speech made by the opponent. Then for the second speaker from FUTA, you have 5 minutes. We always encourage that you use 4 minutes 50, but the audience, your speech will always benefit from properly enunciating. When you had a lot of content, you had facts, you had figures, but if you don't calm down to deliver your speech, your audience cannot hear you. And if your audience cannot hear you, you have not communicated, you have not been able to persuade them. And that could rule out, or that could hinder people from getting what is supposed to be a wonderful speech. For the second speaker from Bayes, I noticed a more or less consistent use of overly long sentences. I think that when giving a speech, you want people to be able to follow you. Where the point you are trying to make might be a complex one, but I've always observed that consistent short sentences are a lot more better for communication than one very long sentence with very few pauses in between. You want people to be able to follow your train of thoughts, and if that train is a long train, there is a tendency for people to get missing. If you break your sentences down into your speeches down into short sentences, it's easier to allow people to follow your train of thoughts. Then I think what was the most important thing in the debate between the University of Benin and Benue State University was the establishment of the burden of proof. Like you said, definition of what the debate was supposed to be. As a first speaker, that should be probably the most important thing that you come up to do, even before stating your points, because the person who establishes what we call the burden of proof, who defines the term, more or less defines how the debate goes. Your debates can be teachers are better than farmers. But if you come up and you talk about how farmers have to learn to be farmers, that means they have to be taught by somebody. You have taken the debate to a particular direction. And most often in debates that we see is, even though that's not what people initially plan for, they follow your direction. And when they follow your direction, it's easier for you to pick out inconsistencies in their speech and make better rebuttals. So it is very important as the first speaker to establish your burden of proof, to define the debate and define the points of contention. Lastly, I just want to point out that a debate is different from a speech. You are trying to convince people of something and not just tell them something. It's, if I come and I tell you that only 5% of Nigerians are insured, that's a speech. I have given you information. But if I tell you that we want to get coverage for the remaining 95% of Nigerians, that's me telling you that we want to do something. Come and join us. So I think call to actions, use of persuasive words and sentences will have been more helpful for the debates. But all in all, it was a wonderful one. Thank you guys very much, and let's give them a round of applause.
I'm sure that by now the audience, you must be tired of clapping, but please, it's not easy to come to this podium. Please put your hands together for these guys once again. It's a lot of work. We deeply appreciate how much work you have put into coming here, to delivering these speeches, the sleepless nights. We deeply appreciate them. So, of course, starting with general comments, they've said a lot of things. The other judges have spoken about like all the general comments, most of the general comments actually. But then I just have like one or two. And first of them, while it's not something that is on the scoring sheet, I just think it's something that should be considered, especially when you're going to debate, and it's dressing. Fine, we are not expected to grade your dressing, but if you are coming to a professional or an official setting, there's a way you should appear, there's a way you should look, and I just think it's important to look at that when you are going for debates like later on. Because especially when almost all your other debaters are dressed in a kind of way, you stand out when you come on the podium, because we see that, okay, everybody's dressed this kind of way, and then you come and it just feels like something is off, what's wrong? And also, even before we start to judge, even before, they say that address the way you want to be addressed. It's a layman thing, but it's also very important. Also, generally, I think that there was a problem with the use of podium with most of the debaters, because there's a generalized way of saying that for some people, if you want to stay behind the podium, you should stay behind the podium. If you want to not use the podium, do not use the podium. It gets distracting because I know some people came with prompters. So you are debating and it feels like you're starting to forget, then you go to try to read what your prompter says, you leave the podium again to debate, it gets pretty distracting, and it's important to like consider that. Now moving to specifics, quickly for the debate between FUTA and Bayes University. I always say that the first person to open a debate actually has a lot of work to do, and I'd like us to put our hands together for the first speaker for FUTA. Because you're coming to the debate, you're the first person speaking, the room is quite cold, you need a lot of energy to elevate or bring up the mood in the room. So she did a great job with her energy, because it's important for you to do that so that we can snap into it, come around and, oh, you're speaking, you are doing a good job, and well done to her. However, for both speakers from FUTA, there was a problem with fact figures, actually across board, but I noticed it with you guys, FUTA, fact figures, use of your facts and figures, basically. I think that your debate would have gone a lot better if you had those things in your speeches or in your debates. Then, for the speakers for Bayes, when you want to speak, it might be a personal bias. Say, for example, that I'll be highlighting with 3 or 4 points.
you need to be sure. It's your speech. You should know how many points you have in your speech. Then also, when you say things like, which I'm sure countries with partial legislation could not accomplish, it's not about you. You can't be sure. You need to give us facts to tell us why you are sure. We are not working on personal opinions. We are working on facts. And then also, when you repeat points, for example, when the first speaker came, talked about how a particular percentage was just 1.2% of our budget. The second speaker came, used up time, talked again about how that percentage was 1.2%. You don't get added points for repeating points. There's no added marks. So like you just, like it's a timed thing. So you're just using up. You could have replaced it with something else, basically. But then it was great. You guys did really, really amazing. Thank you very much. Moving on quickly to the debate between Benue University and University of Benin. For Benue State University, I liked what the first speaker for Benue University did with defining. For example, the first speaker for the University of Benin came up and defined an amazing thing. She set the tone for the debate. But then the first speaker of Benue State University came up and he defined again. Because if you are trying to bring up something else, it's important for you to correct what we already thought of from the first debate and then define again, which he did amazing with. However, the first speaker for Benue University talked about how what we're proposing is not the best, but that there are better options. But he didn't tell us what better options are. Like, okay, this is not the best. There are better options. There are things that are a lot better. But what are these things? So it might be important for you to like consider that. Also, the second speaker for Benue State University talked about infrastructure deficits and how the government covers for most of the infrastructure. But then usually the government actually is responsible for most of the infrastructure. However, that is why they're talking about infrastructure deficits, because to cover for what is left, that is why they're talking about infrastructure deficits. So it's just important to like be clear as regards this thing to not cause any confusions. And going back to the debate between for the speakers for the University of Benin, please, when you are debating, you need your points to be clear. We need to know exactly what you're talking about so that we can, okay, this is what you're saying, okay, this is what you're saying, this is how you are rebutting, so that everything is as clear as possible. And finally, the debate between Lagos State University and Ahmadu Bello University. Like everyone has said, Lagos did really, really amazing. However, for the speakers from Ahmadu Bello too, I think that you guys did really great too. But the problem was that I think you were relaxed, but then you were too relaxed. So it felt like you were just, like you just felt really, really like a little over-relaxed. So there was no energy with your debates. We couldn't like really follow you as much as possible. Also, clarity was actually also a big, a little bit of an issue. Regardless, in summary, I think like the other judges have said, there was a poor use of the rebuttal rounds. Like, we barely heard anybody properly use their rebuttals, which is something that you should take advantage of. Because there was a time when someone came back for the rebuttal round, and I know that I had to go back to effect a change in the scores because the person said something and he actually like struck a chord. So it's important to actually know that those rebuttal rounds, they are there for something. And if you use them well, they can actually change a lot of things. Well done to everyone, please. Also, audience, please put your hands together for yourselves. Because you cannot, it is very difficult to debate in a hostile environment. The audience were very amazing. You were not hostile to the speakers. You allowed them to, even when it felt like some of them were losing steez a little bit, you guys kept cool with them and you allowed them to like gain their composure back. So please, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I forgot to add something the other time, so that's why I said that. Let me say this last thing. So I'm sorry, please. So it's for Ahmadu Bello University. As he has said, I think they were relaxed, but at the same time, they were over-relaxed. But I think the second speaker from Ahmadu Bello University was making a mistake repeatedly. He was saying, I agree with this point. I agree with this point. That was literally surrendering. Like, I've surrendered to your point. I've accepted defeat. So please, next time, you might want to do well to do much more better than that. Thank you very much. Can we please celebrate them properly?
Okay. It will appear, I just have to stand up for this. It will appear that I've been given the responsibility of announcing the scores, which is not a very easy one because, especially in the debate where everybody did the absolute best, but there has to be, we are scoring for a reason. There has to be first, second, third, and like that. So, how do you guys want me to do this? First, or should I start from, which side should I start from? There's no last, please. We don't do that here. So there's no last here. We only have sixth. So that's how it is. So please, if regardless of what the scores say, I know my scenario is getting too much, but then regardless of what the scores say, even if you do not win today, it doesn't mean that you are a bad debater or anything like that. You just didn't really have as good a day as you would have loved, and you will definitely have those days. So I'll be starting with the sixth position, and that goes to Ahmadu Bello University. Please let's put our hands together for them. Then for fifth is Bayes University. Let's put our hands together for them. For the remaining parts, the scores were really close. But then it is what it is. For fourth position, we have Uniben with. Okay, sorry, I think I should have mentioned the scores too. For Ahmadu Bello University, coming in sixth with 9.5. For Bayes University, coming in fifth with 11.17. For Uniben, coming in fourth with 13.0. And now to the first, second, and third. Third position is, we have Benue State University with 13.5. Second position. Okay, guess. Okay, let me waste our time. Second position is Futa with 13.67. So in first position, we have Lagos State University with 15.83. Thank you very much.
Please, let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate each and every speaker that made it to this debate competition today. Please, let's celebrate them. It's not easy. It's not an easy feat to stand before every one of us here and to give wonderful, great speeches. Please, let's celebrate them once again. Each and every one of you are winners, and I really, really did enjoy every one of your speeches. So please, let's celebrate. Celebrate yourselves once again, please. And to our winners, please, let's celebrate them too. Thank you so much, and it was so great having you guys here. Thank you once again. Okay, so quickly, would be inviting the immediate past president of NONSA Lautech and is also the immediate past vice president of NONSA National in person of Taufik Jayola. Please let's celebrate him as he comes to give the goodwill message. Please let's celebrate him. Please let's clap for him. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually so excited to be here for somebody who has a lot of interest in politics. And I would just like to appreciate everyone. First, I would like to appreciate all the debaters because it's not easy to climb a podium and engage people. If it's easy, just come and take the mic. So please, can we give them a round of applause? And at the same time, I would like to appreciate the organizers of the event, from Leap Africa, the sponsors, and also for moving the event down here to Lautech, Ogbomoso. And I would like to make some comments that I actually looked at some things when sitting there. Firstly, I think one of the judges made mention of dressing. You know, when it comes to any event, there is a way you dress. And I do say it. When you come out first, what people will look at is your appearance. Even if you are a lecturer, no matter how good you are, before you speak, the first thing they will look at is, can this person speak to me? And I will answer. Or can this person call me outside and I will say, this is my lecturer. We are the set of people that there are some of our lecturers, not even their dressing. We are not proud of the cars they drive outside. And you will say, is this how, this is where, if this person has spent like 50 years in this profession and is like this, I don't think my part is in this profession. So one of the things that I think the recommendation that we'll make is, most especially for the guys, when you are dressing, when you are putting on a black shoe, please, no matter the type of dressing, you have to come with a black belt. You don't wear a brown shoe and a black belt, or a brown belt and a black shoe. It is not. And at the same time, for person who is, as a data analyst, I do know the importance of statistics. And for a debate like this, we clearly understand that you need statistics to back up your point. But at the same time, because you want to mention figures, you want to state particular things, you should not now run into, there are some stats that are not original. Just coming from Linda Ikeji block and telling us that at this particular time, you know, people are there, people are well versed, people read every day. There are people that will just sit there and say, oh, what this person is saying is not right. What this person, and you are shooting yourself in the leg immediately. So I would like us to take note of that. And again, the last thing is, please, English as rule. I noticed when there are things that are so simple, but we should not always make the mistake of them. For example now, when we are using the indefinite article, I noticed one of the judges, when one person mentioned an increase, you should know where to use an increase, a increase, and you should know how to use the right pronunciation when debating. Please, I know no one is a monopoly of knowledge. We are learning every day. Thank you once again, and I do wish everyone the best in the next foreseeable future. Thank you.
Please, let's celebrate him. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, let's celebrate him. Okay, so quickly, I'll also be calling on Mr. Ayomide Basit quickly just to come and give us another testimonial. Please, let's celebrate him. Mr. Ayomide Basit. Please, let's celebrate him. Celebrate him. He was one of the representatives of Lautech, so please, let's celebrate him. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. To the debaters, you are welcome to Ogumosho. Hope you are enjoying yourself. All right, so I'm Adekunle Ayomide, by the way. I'm one of the beneficiaries of the Youth Leadership Development Program by Leap Africa. So to start with, I would say opportunities are truly great, but what good is seed when there are no fertile land? What good is seed when there are no fertile land? I want to use this opportunity to appreciate Leap Africa for giving the Nigerian youth the fertile land to really express themselves. I mean, the opportunities to showcase what stuff they are truly made of. Can we just give a round of applause to Leap Africa? So I'll be sharing a brief of my experience as one of the participants of this Youth Leadership Development Program. It started as an online program where we're being exposed to a series of global shakers. I mean, we're getting tutelage from really amazing speakers across the whole world, and then it's an awesome experience. And we didn't pay a dime. I mean, we didn't pay any amount, because I've been under so many development opportunities like this that even I paid for, and we are not getting this so-called profound value we are getting from Leap Africa. Can we appreciate Leap Africa once again? Also, Leap Africa is providing the Nigerian youth with the opportunity to explore even outside the university. I mean, what is the essence of education when you are just confined to your local environment? So last week, I and Olasukomi Oyewusi, could you please stand up? Can we appreciate Olasukomi Oyewusi? He did very well. Can we please appreciate him again? We represented Lautech at the University of Benin. We traveled to Benin to represent Lautech, and then we give it our very best, and then we did very well. We made Lautech proud. So I'm so grateful for Leap Africa for giving us this opportunity to explore education even beyond the four walls of our classroom. And then finally, this is an open call for every one of us present here today to watch out for the next cohort of the youth leadership debate. So it's an annual program. So next year, another cohort will be operating. So I want every one of us here to be on the lookout for the next cohort. And then, of course, we've witnessed amazing debates here today. Who knows, somebody here today might be the next winner of this competition. So this is me saying I'm rooting for every one of us. And thank you so much, Leap Africa. I'm Adekunle Ayomide from Lautech.
Please, let's celebrate him once again. Okay, so quickly I'll also be inviting Oluwasemiye Olabi. He was the representative last year from Lautech. So please, let's celebrate him. Make some noise for him as he makes his way up the stage. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am Oluwasemiye Olabi. It feels so great to be here. Let me say a very big thank you to Leap Africa for putting this together. Thank you so much. Can we put our hands together for Leap Africa? I think Leap Africa has immensely contributed to my leadership journey. I registered for the Youth Leadership Development Program in 2021. That was late 2021. And so the HE modules were like the highlights for me. Sessions on self-leadership, transformative leadership, advocacy 101, 102, and even the one on public policy too by Mr. Sheoni Bide. I think it's really contributed to my process of becoming as a leader. And then in early 2022, I think there was I think they introduced the leadership debate in 2022 because it was the Youth Leadership Debate 1.0, and the theme was the Nigeria we want. So before then, I was even opportune to partake in a change project where I went to a school to carry out a sexual and reproductive health movement. And then in 2022, late 2022 actually, we had the debate, and also I represented Lautech with a couple of my friends. And I think what really stood out for me was the fact that before we started the debate competitions, we had live training sessions. We had on social entrepreneurship, we had on NGOs, we had on advocacy. And it really stood out for me because I believe that to build sustainable cities, you have to build and invest in the people first. And that was what was exemplified by Leap Africa. And I was really proud. And then at the end of it all, it was more of an advocacy bootcamp than a competition for me because so much was poured into us. It was not just the debates that was being focused on. So much insights was delivered on us. And I feel like that helped me navigate through the parts where we did not get to the semifinals. I dropped out at the quarterfinals. And then it was hard navigating that part. Because I had high hopes. I was thinking, yes, when I make it to the finals. And I think the incentive I would get at the end was quite the motivation. I was like, oh, when I get the money, I'll just, do all of this. And then I was looking forward to the opportunities I would, get to network with other persons, meeting physically. But it didn't happen like that. But I'm still proud of the person I've become, of the insights I've gained. And really, I've seen that because one of the mantra we had back then was that your voice is a powerful tool. Use it for change. It was a mantra for me because it instilled a certain kind of mindset that you have to take responsibility, lend your voice when things are going south, be part of the change. Thank you so much, Leap Africa. Thank you so much, everyone. It's so great to be here.
Please, let's celebrate him. Okay, thank you so much for being such a beautiful audience, for clapping and everything. We just want to say a big thank you. But in the next 5 minutes, we'll be out of here. So I want to quickly call on the program's coordinator of Leap Africa for our closing remarks. Please, let's celebrate Ijoma Kalu. Please celebrate her.
Hello once again. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been quite a competition here. I'm sure you've all had fun. Have you had fun today? Did you learn one or two things today? I do hope that you take the lessons that you've learned here, both on debating skills and the facts and figures that have been mentioned or shared at the different rounds. I want to use this opportunity to pause, first of all, to recognize all the institutions that were represented throughout this competition from the virtual elimination rounds. So first of all, to enter this competition, all teams had to submit entry videos, which we ourselves and judges watched, and then we selected top teams from each institution that was represented. So we had Alex Ekweme Federal University of Technology, I believe, Federal University in Ebonyi State. We had Ladoke Akintola University, the University of Calabar, University of Lagos, University of Benin, Bowen University, University of Nigeria, Enugu Campus, University of Ibadan, Lagos State University, Our Lady of Lourdes College, Anambra State, University of Uyo, Federal University of Technology, Akure. We also had Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, the University of Abuja, University of Ilorin, Yobe State University, College of Health and Technology, Jigawa State, Bayes University, Bayero University, the University of Jos, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and Kaduna State University, including Benue State University and Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto. These were all the universities and colleges that were represented in the debate so far. This is just to say that we made sure that we got representation across the country because, again, we are debating policies or debating issues that concern every single member of the Nigerian populace, irrespective of their sub-region. So we wanted that representation across board. So I also just want to use this opportunity to recognize the debaters for the work that they have done so far. They have shown commitment to this task. And debaters, I just want to say congratulations to those who have been announced as a finalist. And for those who did not expect, never expected it, to be dropped out here, you did very well. We're super proud of you, super proud of the work that you've put in. And we're telling you, this is not the end of the journey for you. These debaters and every other person who has been part of the YLDP are going to be inducted into Leap Africa's Alumni Association. And yes, you have learned or they have learned so much already with Leap Africa, but that's not the end of their learning journey. Through the Alumni Association, they still get to build their capacity and also even contribute to the building the capacity of the next cohort. So these people who have gone through the YLDP program can also become mentors and support systems for the next round of both debaters and sustainability champions for their change projects. So we always want to pay back. Once you have gotten something from Leap Africa, we also want you to see an opportunity to pay back and build or pull out the next generation after you, which is why we've also given the platform to the students who have been on our program in the past to come and share their experience, because we expect them as our alumni to also be ambassadors to tell other people, tell you now, as students of LAUTECH, and even you secondary school students who will soon get into the university, about our program, about the experience they've had, so that when the time comes, you say, there's this program I must be part of because it's going to change my life. Again, which is why we say here, you have learned one way or the other, something or the other you have learned from this event that you just attended. Please make sure that you're sharing the experience with the next person, because we are all here to sow into the next person's life. Recognizing the presence of the secondary school students who are here, we do have a program basically for secondary school students called the iLead and the Lead the Way program. For the iLead program, we focus on secondary school students in public institutions, and then we have the Lead the Way program for those in the private institutions. They are the same, it's basically the same program, but we are pointing out leadership and sustainability for these students. So it's a training program that secondary school students can be part of, and we are still making sure through our programs that we touch base with everybody, everywhere in Nigeria, and even across Africa as a whole. This is just me going to pause to say thank you so much to the audience for being part of this. Thank you so much, LAUTECH. I want to use this opportunity also to identify with our volunteers, everyone who has taken out their time to plan this event and to make sure that coming to Leap Africa, or rather coming to Obomosho, was a success. So please, volunteers, I would like you to just step forward. I just want to say thank you. I want everyone to recognize with you, identify with you rather. Please praise Esther, Blessing, all of you. Please come forward if you can. We just want to give them a round of applause to say thank you for the work that they have done. We have been touring Nigeria. Thank you, keep clapping. If there are any volunteers still outside, please make your way in. We've been touring the country. We've gone to Zaria. We've gone to Benin. Now we are here at Ladoke Akintola University, or Bomosho at least. And these our volunteers have been impeccable, right? Always wanting to check in with us. What can we do? How can we help? Because our team is very small, and we are going across the country. So we really need these people on ground to tell us what we need to do. And they did give their time. So please, a special round of applause once again for them. Thank you. Leap Africa says, thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you've done. Have they all been captured? All right, thank you very much. Please, you can return to your seats. Thank you. I also want to say thank you to my teammates from Leap Africa and the NYFF for the work that you've done. I know that our own reward is in heaven. Okay, and thank you also to the executive management of Leap Africa who have given me the opportunity to be here, and for our board members at the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund for all the support and everything that all the resource that has been put into bringing us here. The question some people ask is, why Ogumosho? Why did we have to go all the way from Lagos, all the cities around Lagos, and then we found ourselves here? We have had amazing representation from the team, from teams from Ladoke Akintola University for the past 3 years of this competition. Sometimes they may not have made it to the semifinals, but they always show up. We have multiple teams per time registering from Ladoke Akintola University. In fact, there are some universities represented here who maybe have only one team. Their team managed to make it to the very top. Ladoke Akintola, on the other hand, will give us at least 6, 7, 10 teams, and then we have to now choose which one we want to choose. So yes, that has been one of the criteria that necessitated the places that we went to for the tour this year. For next year, we'll also consider other universities or colleges that we haven't visited, but we are always going to identify with the institutions that have identified with us, which is why we went to ABU, which is why we went to Benin. Maybe next year we'll go to UI, because UI has also been one other school that has always been in the competition. And apart from even the competition, the change project teams from these schools have been phenomenal. We've got some phenomenal success stories from change project teams across these schools that I have mentioned. Anyways, not to bore you any further, time is 2:27, and I want to say again, thank you for joining us on the Youth Leadership Debates Competition semifinals, and we hope to see you soon. We hope to see you following us on social media. We hope to see you engage with the work that we do. You can follow us at Leap Africa on all our social media platforms, and on for NYFF, it's NG_Youth Fund. Please make sure you follow us. Engage with what we do. We are on YouTube. We're everywhere that you get your information from. And please look out for opportunities where you can be part of in the work that we do, different programs that we have for you. In fact, we're also liaising with some organizations to give extra things that are not just leadership training, including scholarship funds for students in universities. Please always be on the lookout for us. We have something interesting for every one of you. You are all in our demography, and I'm sure that you would have a story to tell after you've met with us. Thank you so much once again. Bye.
Please, let's celebrate her once again. Okay, thank you so much. So I just want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for staying with us up to this moment. And I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Olamide Adeyo. Please, can he indicate so that we just celebrate him? Olamide Adeoye. Okay, anyways, thank you so much, sir, for coming. And so I want to say a very big thank you to all our invited guests. Thank you so much for coming. All the secondary school students that came here today, thank you. Thank you to our impeccable judges, our impartial panel of judges. Thank you to our beautiful debaters. Thank you. Please, let's celebrate them once again. Thank you so much to everyone. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to you for coming to the Youth Leadership Debates Competition, which is an initiative of Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, and is proudly sponsored by MacArthur Foundation, Ford Foundation, and Luminate, and also to our technical partners in person of Future Work Africa and Budge. So please, once again, let's celebrate these sponsors. Please, let's celebrate them. Okay, so let's give our mantra. Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Let's say it's more. Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Please, let's celebrate ourselves once again. So I want to say a big thank you to every one of you for staying with us. My name remains Esther Elufioye. You can check me on LinkedIn, Esther Elufioye, or Instagram, Esther Voices Global. It was a pleasure to be your host once again. Thank you so much for coming, and it was a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so there will be instructions given to us on how to proceed outside, and if there would be any. Okay, I think Ijoma will just take that. Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. There are refreshments outside, so we can exit the hall that way. For our student representatives, we'll ask you to please sit. We have come to you, but for every other person, you can exit, take the rows this way, and you will meet something outside for you. Thank you so much for coming.
Nigeria, a land of boundless potential, a vibrant mix of cultures, languages, and traditions. Home to over 200 million people, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene landscapes of Obudu. Our soil is rich with resources, from the crude oil that fuels economies to the fertile land that nurtures agriculture. But Nigeria's greatest asset is its people, innovative, resilient, and ever hopeful. We are a nation shaped by diverse tribes, religions, and histories, united in building a shared future. Though rich in resources and spirit, we still face challenges that hold us back. Yet, we continue to journey towards unity, equity, and progress.
We have seen citizens, especially young people, stepping up, showing more interest in elections, contributing to nation building, solving social problems, holding leaders accountable, and advocating for justice, ensuring that governance serves everyone and not just a few.
But achieving the Nigeria we vision requires daily effort from each of us. This is what democracy is about, where every citizen is actively participating. We're standing for justice and demanding transparency.
We believe it's possible to have
a Nigeria where leadership serves the greater good and upholds democratic values.
A Nigeria where diversity strengthens us and unity drives progress.
A Nigeria where social justice and equality are realities for all.
A Nigeria where innovation thrives and opportunities are open to everyone.
A Nigeria where progress is shared and no one is left behind.
At Leap Africa, we know that investing in young people is the key to unlocking Nigeria's potential. But it requires all of us, citizens, leaders, and institutions, to play a part in building a better future. Because the Nigeria of our dreams is possible.